Welcome to another episode of Express Lane, the show that brings you speedruns in 60 minutes or less. I'm your host, Oscar424, and I usually say I have occasional guest appearances from Galahad and Freya, my corgis, but today I'm doing something different. Galahad is making an actual appearance this time, so say hi. Hi. So we are doing the second half of this fantastic Mega Monday with 4 amazing Mega Man runs. We've got Mega Man Xtreme 2, we have Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters, we have Mega Man 64, and Mega Man 2, which we'll get to in a second. But first, I do have one quick thing I have to say, and that is, Galahad, did you know the Games Done Quick is hiring? No? Okay, well, if you're a business developer, which I'm not sure if you are, but if you're a business developer or you have experience in recruiting sponsorships, you know, if you kind of want to work for GDQ, we want to hear from you. So apply at gamesdonequick.com/jobs, and we'd love to hear you. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to a very, very special runner of Mega Man 2 Zipless, which is Blind Spot. Now, Blind, tell us about yourself.
I am fairly new to the speedrunning community. I am a legally blind speedrunner. I started speedrunning this game probably about a month and a half ago with the intent of actually doing a showcase of classic games, and I just couldn't put this one down, and I just wanted to get faster and faster and faster at it. I've been legally blind now since I was four years old, and constantly use different types of technology to overcome and persevere through any and all difficulties that I encounter, including speedrunning Mega Man 2.
Yay. And chat, just as a heads up, if you have any questions for Blind Spot during this run, feel free to type them in chat, and I will let Blind Spot know. So, Blind Spot, whenever you want to start, just give a countdown and we'll kick things off.
Okay, so we can start off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start.
Good luck!
Oh, perfect. Okay, so we're going to start off with Airman in order to get access to item 2, in order to get a little bit of a time save for Flash. I will probably be a little bit quiet during this section, mainly because I am notoriously bad at falling to my death. Or notoriously good at falling to my death.
Mood.
So you're probably not going to see a whole lot of super fancy speed strategies across this section here. I try my best to look at where Mega Man is 2 positioned on the screen, and in order to know where I need to jump to next. My field of vision is actually fairly low, so it's very centralized. I pretty much have everything memorized and timed out for enemy placements, except for that one, apparently. Okay, so the scariest part pretty much is over.
Nice.
Now I just need to finish that out. The hard part with this one for me is that there's a bit of an RNG factor to picking up energy pellets, where I can't see well enough to do the pixel perfect jump on the tiki heads at the beginning of the stage. I have the damage boost through them. So those energy pellets, which most speedrunners would avoid like the plague because it's losing them time, are vital for me in order to get through this stage unscathed.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask if there was a reason you were getting hit by the drills right there.
The same thing for like Airman, because my eyes are fairly photosensitive to color. Things that share a same color palette against each other are very difficult for me to pick out. So those tornadoes that he's shooting out are actually almost invisible to me in
wow.
that section. So the way that I overcome it, I was just like, well, I'm playing on normal, so I'm just going to run head first into it.
And it works.
It works. Now, I have been trying some different strategies to do it better in like the Wily 5 stages for the refights. So completing this stage unlocks item 2, which is going to unlock a bunch of different skips that we'll be able to do in various stages, such as like Metal Man. I use it very particular in Bubble Man. FYI, I hate Bubble Man. That stage really burns my eyes really bad with the waterfall. So that's more incentive to get out of that stage as fast as possible.
Fair. So you mentioned you have sometimes issues with things that are close in color. How bad is this stage for you specifically?
The stage isn't too bad, actually, because it's contrasting color. It's a lighter color against a darker color background.
Okay.
Oh, took extra damage there. One thing people might not know if they're not familiar with Mega Man 2 is that these floors are actually subject to ice physics. And getting knockback is actually a very annoying thing on this level. So this is going to be the first use of item 2 that I use in my run. I use it to gain a little bit of speed here. I also use it as a backup strategy just in case I miss the next jump, which I usually do pretty often, but we didn't this time, so that's perfect. And then we'll go into Flash. So Flash is a little bit funny. He kind of just charges at you and freezes time. That's pretty much his whole thing. Now, this room does not have contrasting color. So when I'm flashing on screen, I can't see Mega Man anymore.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So my objective is kill him as fast as I can. That's pretty much it. I know he's coming from the right, and I need to get him before he gets to the left.
I know someone had mentioned in chat, like for you specifically, the different strategies and whatnot. Are asking about the different strategies you use for beating or for speedrunning Mega Man 2. That is definitely one of them for sure.
Oh, 100%. I'm trying to think of another one that I use. The most prominent one that I definitely use is on Bubble Man, because in the first section, there's falling platforms that I can't see. They're very bright pink, and they're against a waterfall background, which literally rips my retinas apart.
Oh, wow.
I also have one other strat when we get to the Wily stages that I will explain, which people are going to probably find a little bit amusing. So this stage for me is actually not bad at all. It's a dark color. Mega Man is a nice bright blue, and I can see everything pretty well. Oh, so we got a little bit of a time loss there. We weren't supposed to fall there. Switch to item 3 so I can scale this wall a little bit faster. I'm losing a lot of time here.
That's fine. So I noticed in the Airman stage you were just kind of shooting for a little bit before you hit an enemy. Is that so you know when the enemy is? Or like when it gets nearby? Or is that just what you do?
Sometimes what I do. In one case in particular, after the second bird, I do believe it is. I actually time the shots because the bird will come with the fan master, the fan man that's there. And I listen for the 4 shots that I know will land. If I only get 3, then I know that the bird wasn't part of that coupling, which means I need to be careful.
Okay.
So we're coming up to Heat Man here. He's another difficult one for me to see when he does his charge mechanic. So I'll be listening for his burn-up effect here a lot. Okay, perfect. So for that fight, I actually had to sit there and listen. I've tried to make sure that I'm just enough apart from him that I can give myself enough time to dodge. I listen for his burn-up effect, and by that little heat-up effect, I know he's about to charge and when he's going to charge, which allows me to time my jumps.
Gotcha.
Now, coming into Crash Man, there's a lot of climbing here that is unfortunately very visually intensive. It takes a lot of concentration for me to do this one level well and correctly. So I'm going to try my best to do that. And also take comments and stuff at the same time.
Oh, no worries. I'd say chat at this point, give all of the energy. Blind spot. So I remember how much I hated this level myself.
Oh, I love this level. This is the level that I want to master the most because it is difficult to see Megaman against the bluish purple background, but it's just so fun. So here's a strat that I use because of my visual impairment. I actually use Flashman here instead of using like the typical item 2 because the placement for item 2 there is a little bit finicky.
Oh.
Another issue that I kind of have challenges with is menuing. I literally had to memorize all the menuing that I need. So if I have to adapt, it's can be a little bit tricky.
Jeez.
Oh. So we had a little fall there. So unfortunately, this is not the ideal situation. We'll get a little bit of a climb here, but we used up a lot of our item 1. Oh. Yep, that wasn't supposed to happen either.
That's alright. Totally RNG manip.
And I am out of item 1, which is going to make this next jump a little bit tricky. I'm probably going to have to snail pace it right now. And that's why.
No worries. It's like somebody mentioned in chat, a true improvised, adapt, overcome gamer, so you've got plenty of love coming in chat for you.
So hopefully I can get a better climb in this section here with my item 3. Unfortunately, I won't be able to boost myself up the ladder with item 1s like I normally would do. Let's see. Oh. Those birds are the bane of my existence.
Fair.
100%. I think they are for most Mega Man 2 speedrunners.
Actually, someone had a question. What are your feelings on Mega Man 3?
I love the soundtrack. I hate the dash mechanic.
That's fair.
But Mega Man 3 is definitely my second favorite Mega Man right now.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to switch to air, take that out, jump over this one, take that one out, and hope that Crash Man wants to be cooperative with me today and not jump over my tornadoes. There we go. A little bit rough of a fight.
You say rough, and I'm just going, I would have died at least twice.
So next up, we're going to be going to Crash Man, mainly because, Quickman, mainly because Crash Bombs is Quickman's secondary weakness next to Flash, and we kind of use Flash to get through the death beams.
Gotcha.
This one here is a relatively stable and relatively easy stage to get through.
All right. Well, in that case,
famous last words.
What's that?
As a famous last words.
Right. It's like, well, in that case, I will take the time and pass on a wonderful message that I just saw that said, man, I never thought a platformer like Megaman could be speedrun by a blind person, but you've shown me that it can. Good job with learning this game.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
It's seeing you run this in chat and just how chill and awesome and how good you are at running this was just so amazing to see. I was like, you come here. I want you to be on the show. Come here.
So these death beams are normally a problem until you do that. And then you just, keep walking. Then your biggest issue becomes whether or not you can hit your head in order to fall faster. So when you hit your head on in Mega Man, it actually resets your fall velocity, so it actually causes you to fall a little bit faster.
Oh.
And that is the stage.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna go in and hopefully we can get a good pattern on Quickman that he does not want to jump around like a fool.
It's like Quickman behave.
Yep. There we go.
Nice.
So in some cases, you can actually manage to pull off doing a 1 cycle on him with a Crash Bomb. Usually I go between 1 and 2. It's not very often it goes to a 3 cycle with bombs. So next up is Metal Man, where you're going to see our first major item 2 skip, if I am able to be successful with it. I've pretty much got a 75% chance success rate, so let's hope.
Oh boy.
2. Every now and then you might hear me time some stuff out in order to try to figure out where Mega Man is 2 actually placed on the screen. Like right now, you'll see me randomly firing my quick boomerangs at these drills. That's 100% exactly what I'm doing. I can't see the drills against the background of the green, well, I assume it's green, green textures. So I'm pretty much just firing randomly and hoping for the best. So we're coming up to that skip that I was referring to. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, we got it.
Nice.
And we just sail this rocket all the ways to the end. Well, almost all the ways to the end.
Oh, wow.
And we jump over these springs. Except for that last one, because he was too fast. So there's a nice little gimmick to Metal Man. If you hold on the fire button and you're in your Quickman power, he won't move. Oh, I went. Sorry, he won't move until you go past the halfway point. So the strategy there is to literally take one big leap and a couple of baby steps towards him, just close enough that the boomerangs will hit him. And normally he'll just stand there and take it.
Taking notes right now.
So Woodman is another stage that has a section that is particularly difficult for me. It's the section when I'm coming up here that has birds and monkeys. So the problem that I have with it is the same problem I have with all the levels that have very bright blue backgrounds, and that bright light actually causes me to go completely blind. And when that happens, I pretty much just have to improvise where I'm to, where Megaman is to, and hope for the best.
Jeez.
Okay. So we use Flashman here in order to make it so those big nasty robots don't, we don't have to fight too many of them, because they hit hard and they take forever to kill. Here we'll do a quick swap to metal so we can get some directional shots and we can take out those monkeys before they become a problem. And that one bat that keeps knocking you down the ladder. I have no love for that bat. He won't be missed.
That is a mood. I totally understand.
So here we're looking to the left to make the bird appear on the left side of the screen so that he doesn't run into you and knock you off the rocket. Here we're gonna try to jump over some robots to see if we can go for 2 of 3. Yeah, there we go. We got one.
Nice.
No. 1 of 3.
Hey, 1 out of 3 is better than no out of 3.
So here we're just gonna rocket over those turkeys and get hit by the last one. Not intentional. So the funny thing is, if you actually move to the right slightly after the second turkey jumps at you, you'll actually just fly on over the third one. Unfortunately, I was not paying attention enough. And that's how you one-shot Woodman.
What?
I call that the firing my laser shot. For those people that are familiar with Nani's memes.
Shout out to everybody that's our age.
Chat, give me some fire in my lasers. Okay, so this beginning section for Bubble Man, I had to be very inventive with to get through. I cannot see anything on the screen. It is horrible.
Oh my god.
So I know I just got hit. I know I'm near a pit. Oh, I did make that jump. So I use metal here to take that guy out and to also take out any of the little guys that are around. And, whoa. Okay, I must have missed one. Okay. I use item 2 to get across that spot solely because I can't see that spot.
That's fair.
I'm having some issues here. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, you were definitely getting some fire in my laser in chat, that's for sure.
So I'm going to have to play this careful. Usually I don't get stuck there, but every now and then I have this thing that I like to call an eye flash. And what that means is that my vision turns completely white for a couple of seconds.
Oh wow.
I don't usually have them that frequently. But thankfully the game is wanting to be a little bit of forgiving and gave us some health.
Nice.
Perfect. Okay, we're back up to full health, and now we're going on to sketchy area number 2. Those little reeds that are above me, yeah, they're spikes, and they are one-shot death.
So are you able to see those spikes, or do you just kind of know where they are?
I just know they're there.
Oh, jeez.
When I first started playing this game, it was like, I'm just going to assume that everything on the ceiling is going to kill me.
Well, it's like that one drop down you did where they have the spikes on both sides. I'm like, oh my god, I was a nervous wreck doing those, and then you're just like, yeah, I don't see them, I just know.
I find that okay. Here comes the next skip that I do because of my vision, and because of the blasted waterfall. So I make the item 2 so high on the screen that it actually puts me above the hitboxes of the shrimps that are falling down the waterfall.
Oh.
Because I can't see the blue and white platforms that are actually against the back of the waterfall.
That is genius.
As some people are like, why don't you just run across? If you just keep running across and holding right, then the only one that'll hit you is the last one on the right. And I'm just like, well, see, the problem isn't the shrimp. It's the fact that I don't see where I'm running.
There was a question in chat really quickly, just confirming why you can't see them. To answer the chat, blind spot's legally blind.
Yep, I am a legally blind speedrunner. Actually, I want to take this opportunity to just give a warning. Where this is an old Nintendo game, there is a lot of flashing lights. And in the Wily stages, every time a boss is about to die, if you are photosensitive, shield your eyes, because that's what I do.
I was about to say, how does that affect you specifically?
If it catches me wrong, I will go blind for about 15 to 30 seconds.
Ah!
So you will see me close my eyes after every single boss fight, and that is why.
Gotcha.
I actually shield my eyes. Or more specifically, my left eye, because it is the one that's most prone to it. I actually only can perceive light in my left eye. Oh no. Ooh, I barely made it underneath that bird.
And actually, a quick question. There was somebody that said in chat that they're an eye doctor, and they find you able to run this like super awesome and interesting. If you're willing to kind of speak on it, do you know what caused the visual deficiency?
My visual deficiency was actually caused when I was 4 years old. It started as juvenile rheumatoid arthritis and expanded to my eyes and became full-blown uveitis. After which I was flown to... Oh, hang on. I need to concentrate here for a second.
Go for it.
Okay, we're good. I was flown to the Children's Hospital here in Canada, Montreal, where they performed several surgeries on me. They removed the lenses from my eyes and basically saved what little vision that I had left.
Wow.
For a long time, it looked like I may actually even grow out of the condition, but around 2009 is when I had my turn for the worse, and I literally woke up one morning completely blind. I ended up with what's called a macular bleed, which anyone that's ever suffered from like temporary diabetic blindness may know what that means. Case in point, shield your eyes.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a very long and arduous journey. Lots of doctors. But I never try to let it get me down. I live every day just like anybody else and do my best to think outside the box to overcome any kind of limitations that I run into.
Yeah, and the amount of respect you're getting from so many people in chat and just the appreciation of what you're doing is... I hope it puts a smile on your face.
I've been smiling almost this entire time, I think. I haven't died yet. This is already a win.
Yay! And chat, what's I found so wholesome was watching Blind Spot the first time that came across stream. I remember you were saying that it's like you were hoping one day to just be an attendee at something GDQ related. That's like, oh, by the way, would you like to run Megaman 2 on the actual GDQ channel?
I was blown away when that was offered to me. So I'm actually going to skip taking damage here just because I have been having some out of the ordinary flickering with my eyes, and I'm just going to take a bit of a safe strategy here.
That's fair.
Oh, no. Okay, I made it through. Whew. Normally, if you get a bad knockback like that, you'll actually take double damage from those spikes, and they hurt. No, I actually started getting into speedrunning from watching GDQ runs probably as early as like 2017, I think, is when I started.
Oh, wow.
And more recently, when the pandemic hit and I started watching more and more of them, I got hooked on watching a particular speedrunner who is like super great, super positive. Everyone probably would know him as... hang on a second. Sorry about that. As Mitch Flower Power. Super inspirational person, super nice guy. Definitely a very big inspiration for me to pick up a controller and start playing the game. Honestly, the very first game that I tried was Super Mario Brothers 3, and then I realized there's a lot of really tight jumping in this, and I'm probably going to skip this one.
Understandable. Actually, there was another question related to speedrunning Mega Man. If you were to pick up another Mega Man game, would you likely do another slideless game like Mega Man 9 and 10?
I'll answer that in just 1 second.
I'll go for it.
I just want to make it through this spike drop section first.
No worries.
Okay. No, the next one on my list is actually going to be Mega Man 4. And the reasoning I have for that is because of the Mega Mans that I own right now, it is the one that has the darkest and most contrasting colors.
That makes sense.
With the exception of like 1 or 2 stages. So even though it does have the charge mechanic and it does have the... Oh, hang on. One funny thing I do with this guy here, I flip the controller upside down.
Wait, what?
Usually I get the 2 cycle. I can mash a lot faster with my right than my left, and I can hold on jump with left and mash with my right way easier. So I just flip the controller upside down and have at it.
That's fair.
Oh, and for anybody that's wondering, yes, this is original hardware. This is all going through a upscaler.
Nice.
Now, this is where I need chat's help the most. This level in the Mega Man 2 community is known as Purple Death, because this is where speedruns come to die. There are a lot of very tight jumps here and tricks to do. I'm still not good enough at it to do them. Not all of them anyways. And there's also false floors that you can fall through and just die.
So if there was ever time to send energy, now is the time to do it.
Oh, 100%. Charge that spirit bomb. So, just because I want to try to do this for chat, I'm going to see if I can do the spike walk in the first room.
Ooh.
Got it.
Nice.
So that saves a few seconds without having to wait for the platform. So we're going to do another skip here to jump up here. And now this is probably going to be the most difficult one. So we're using vulnerability frames to be able to go right across those spikes. And here we use a pause buffer to get over to this platform a little bit earlier. And we skip those very treacherous areas.
Oh my god.
I'm actually very surprised I got that on the first go. Usually I take a spike death at least once.
Well, that just goes to show you that you're amazing at this. Duh.
So coming up next is the King of Purple Death, the what I call the terminal boss. So you can only damage this boss with, oh, hang on, am I on the right item? Yep. You can only damage this boss with crash bombs, nothing else. You can only destroy those walls with crash bombs and nothing else. You do not have enough crash bombs to do it all. So we kill 2 at the same time.
Very nice.
Oh. Okay. So this is why we have E-tanks. And this is actually very scary. Because I should have E-tanked.
Yeah, that's fine.
So this puts me in a bizarre situation. Because I have no item 1 left. Which is required for this fight. So unfortunately, I'm now forced in a difficult situation of having to farm for items.
Gotcha. There you go.
Need 1 more. Come on, RNG. RNG was on my side.
See, it knows. It knows when to behave.
Or chat was just helping out.
Oh, chat always helps. Yeah, the hype on the spike walks was pretty awesome to see.
So we're gonna try this again. Ooh. Ah. Okay.
That's alright.
We can get this.
We got it.
I should still have enough item 1 that I don't need to go looking for another one. I'm just gonna have to be conservative with it.
That's fair.
So I'm not gonna waste it here. And if anyone is curious, my personal best is actually a 35 run. Oh, and I also kind of just spaced out for a second. Okay. So we're going to change this up a little bit because we're trying to conserve our item 1 a little bit to use item 2 instead. We still have our E-tank, so we're still good in that regard.
That makes sense.
Now see if we can get the duck under. Later. Bye!
Nice.
So this is going to be a little bit more challenging now that that top wall is gone, because you're not going to be able to get the double explosion anymore. But it also means that I should be able to do that. Okay, life is still good. And actually, this is bad. I just realized that I don't have enough crash bombs to finish this. Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm gonna E-tank. I'm not sure if I can save this or not. If that hits both. Okay. Wait. Did my E-tank not go off? Okay. Okay. We had just enough crash bombs.
Perfect.
Oh. So getting that double kill on the wall was essential, because if you look at my item tank, it is empty. And that is why this level is called Purple Death.
Understandable.
And you can imagine how placing those bombs are incredibly difficult for someone like me. It's literally all down to muscle memory and timings in my head.
Oh, wow.
So, that's a good quick man fight.
Very nice. Yeah, chat was super hyped to see that too.
Really good airman fight. Or, airman. Crashman.
I blinked. Sorry, I missed that fight. It was that fast.
Fire my laser. So here we actually switch back to Buster, and there's a reason for that. Airman's weakness is actually Leaf, but hitting him with it is incredibly difficult.
Gotcha.
So switching to Buster has two reasons. One, it's easier to hit Airman with. Two, it travels faster than Bubble, and Heatman is our second target.
Oh.
Make sure I'm on Bubble. Yep. Oh.
Now, are any of these boss fights difficult because of the background, or they all stand out enough?
Each room is slightly different. Some are harder than others.
Gotcha.
For some, you'll have the really bright blue background, and others you'll have, like, Bubble Man there has a darker background. This has another dark background.
Okay.
Oh, Metal Man died. Ironically, Metal Man's weakness is metal.
That was awesome.
And we're going on to Wily Robot. So, pew pew up and to the right. Jump, pew pew up and to the right. Come back. And spam until he's dead. He is the bane of my existence for death sequences because he takes so long to die.
Jeez.
So much flashing. So we're coming up to Wily's library. It's very quiet.
I can chat. That was 2 frames of Metal Man. Yeah. Maybe not even a full 2 frames.
So this is what's known as the walk. Those things dripping, they hurt, but they can't hurt you if you keep to the right of the screen.
That's fair.
And you don't hit anything because it takes longer for them to drip than it takes for you to walk under them.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna try for a quick kill here using Bubble Man. So get ready. As soon as he starts flashing, it'll be time.
Okay.
Okay, we didn't get the quick kill, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to play a little bit conservatively now. And that's time.
Jeez. And well underestimated too.
Perfect. I don't know what the time is. I can't. It's not up on my screen.
Let's see here.
I would estimate around a 39 or 40.
4105.
Definitely not my best, but
It's still underestimate.
that's the goal.
And, chat is giving you all of the love right now.
Thanks a lot, chat. Very much appreciate it. I also kind of want to just throw out there that this is actually like my first kind of large chats, large stream, I should say.
So,
a little bit of nerves going into this.
I'm going to drop a little bit of a surprise on you to add to the wholesomeness. When
What's that?
Blind Spot chat was saying how it's like I'm used to just 1 or 2 people, and now I might be streaming in front of like 100. What I neglected to mention is that there's a little more than 100 people watching you right now. We're like in the over 1,800 people watching you right now.
Wow. Hello, 1,800 people. I'm horribly nervous.
See, this is why I don't tell you things like that until after you're done.
Well, that's just being kind.
But yeah, that was so awesome, and I am so happy for you that you were able to show this. For those in chat watching, please tell them where they can find you and what you stream.
So you can find me on my Twitch channel, same as my blind_spot_x. Unfortunately, the one with an S was taken, so X. And I'm a Nani's guy. So where I'm relatively new, I don't really have much in terms of social media. You can go check me out on Twitch. My Discord is also posted there as well. I do have a Twitter, which is under the same name, blind_spotsx, that you can follow on there. I stream. I'm a variety streamer and somehow became a speedrunner at the same time because I just love running this game. 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Also wanted to give a shout out and special thanks to the Megaman 2 community. They helped me a lot learning everything that I know and helping me adapt some strategies to be able to cater to my visual impairment. In particular, a few people just to mention would be Chrome Cobra 420 and Shakana, also J-Dub Akajoflow, were very helpful in refining the speedrun. And last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to my dad, who unfortunately recently became ill and had to stay in the hospital. So I wish him a speedy recovery, and I dedicate this run to him.
Aww. Well, I am 100% sure he's going to love hearing about this, for sure. With everybody, again, make sure you give Blind Spot a follow. Fantastic runner. So, yeah, as soon as you finish that Megaman 4 run, we'd love to have you back. I know Chad's already said to bring you back, so...
definitely. I would love to be back again.
Yeah, just, again, if you can watch us back with the program you have to be able to get the text, you will see how much love you have gotten. And you'll hear all the love you have gotten in chat. They're all for you.
That's awesome.
So, chat, we'll be right back. But first, I want to mention that, as a reminder, any subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits that you cheer on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix and bringing on people like Blindspot. If you enjoy watching Speedruns daily, consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to see you more. We'd love to see Blindspot more. But for right now, we're going to take a quick break and then move on to some Mega Man Legends with Megaman 64. We'll be right back.
Later.
Welcome back, everybody, to Express Lane on the continuation of our Mega Man Monday. I do have one quick announcement before we get to the next run, and that is registration is live for Awesome Games Done Quick 2024. So if you'd like to attend the event in person from January 14th through the 21st, head over to gamesdonequick.com for more info. That includes attendee registration and hotel booking. Make sure you check out the schedule at gamesdonequick.com/schedule and let us know what you're looking forward to the most. But with that, I am going to turn everything on over to our wonderful trio of people with, I heard it called Mega Meme 64, but we're going to call it Mega Man 64 instead with second place 92. So how you doing?
Hey, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. My name's Second Place 92. I'm going to be running Megaman 64. I speedrun a pretty wide variety of games over the last 4 years I've been speedrunning, but this was the second speedrun I ever learned, and probably the one I've ran more than any other. Honestly, mostly because of the community. The community is amazing. It's more like a family, if anything, to be honest. It's just such a great place to be. And I feel honored to have Blue and Airlian, who are two of the best runners here, to commentate with me.
Yo, how's it going? I'm Blue Metal. I'm here to commentate for this wonderful game here.
And I'm Airlian. I like to consider myself a 64 apologist, but I keep up a big front for the fans.
Nice. Yeah, whenever you're ready to go, feel free to start.
Should I be streaming this to Discord for the commentators, or?
It might help.
Okay.
I mean, unless we are going for a complete unknown speedrun to make it very spicy.
Only if you're able to, but if not, I think we can still handle it either way.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
I see a comment chat, break all of your mega legs.
Well, thankfully, we won't have to do that very much in this run, as we'll be playing on easy mode. And on easy mode, you get to start with the jet skates, so you don't actually have to use your legs all that much.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a piece of equipment you normally get late game on normal mode, but,
Nice.
easy mode you start with. And you go zoom in.
All right.
Actually, yeah, it's all good on our end.
Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. All right,
This would be much easier.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, ready to go when you are.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so this is Mega Man 64. It is a port of Mega Man Legends to the N64. It's got some interesting changes, some better, some for worse, but as for the run, we're going to start off with some stuff that you get right away that the normal difficulties don't get. You get the Max Buster part, which lets you obviously have all your stats maxed. And you get to start with the jet skates. As you can see, he's zooming around on his feet without having to, run around with his legs on a bunch. It's some late game stuff you get right away, and it changes up movement for most of the early game that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. So it changes the category entirely. It makes it really interesting in its own ways.
Yeah, having these abilities lets this category stand on its own legs as a unique category of its own. Right here, we're going to be sniping these two antennas, since you get a taste of just how powerful this Buster is. On normal mode, we would have to go up and kick them, but that won't be necessary. And also, this boss isn't necessary. Let's just get rid of that right quick.
Oh,
You
wow.
just hold forward and B and it's over. No problem.
All right, then.
Yeah, it's funny how trivial makes some bosses, and it makes the category fast, obviously, but it also introduces some other strategies for some other bosses where you can't necessarily just get free movement, and you'll see in a couple of fights where you might have to stand far away and just try to snipe it from really far away, which takes a bit of aiming skill, whereas otherwise you'd have to run up to said boss, get up to its weak spot, and then do something about it. But sometimes you actually have to aim your Buster, and with all that range and stuff, it's really cool.
So we're coming up and accepting a mandatory quest here to go save this junk shop lady's husband. He wandered into the ruins and he got ambushed by a can of SpaghettiOs, but that really sucks for him because we're not going to save him. We're going to do this category's most defining trick called Mind Skip. Now, Mind Skip used to be said with a sense of disdain and horror when people used to talk about it, but now there's a new setup that Second Place is going to do right here that mitigates a lot of the random element to it.
Oh,
That looks really good. And in one
up
pause,
there.
first try.
Nice.
all right.
That's our
so
boy.
The way this trick works, it's really cool. So what you do is you purposely take damage, and then you pause, and you switch weapons, switch Buster parts specifically, but you can change other things about Mega Man, and it resets his iframe so he can get hit again. And you just launch yourself up there. You skip like a pretty solid chunk of the early game. You don't have to go save the junk shop guy. You don't have to go through dialogue boxes, getting the special weapon called the splash mines, hence mine skip, because you're not getting that weapon anymore. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really cool.
I mean, how much
It's just,
time
all
does
about
that?
resetting iframes.
Yeah, but how much time does that save? That's got to be a lot.
It's always been tough to measure because we rank this game on IGT. So like for RTA, it's somewhere around a little bit less than a minute, and then for IGT, it's probably around 30 or so seconds, give or take, because like you got the whole black screen thing, and he just kicked a dog. That's another defining feature of the Japanese version he's playing right now.
Yeah, sorry for any animal activists out there.
So what you're supposed to do is you talk to Tron, who is, stuck on the pole being attacked by the dog. Then you talk to the dog and try to convince it to leave her alone. But on the Japanese version, they lift in some animal abuse features, and you can just kick the dog and get it over with. And it saves like 20 seconds.
Oh, wow.
This is going pretty fast. We're going to be targeting the blue dude over here. These guys drop a key. It's always the blue one every time. And yeah, that's the Bloom Bears. And this fight's not a lot different than that. Very important that second place doesn't fire his buster immediately upon entering this battle, because that stops Megaman in his tracks. And that means he could get run over by the boss. And that's a big problem because the boss is invincible until it gets back to the center of the room. And now we're going to City Hall. I have a very specific method of doing this. Killing the tank to bait over the orange flyer. You got the purple and the pink one. Okay, orange went down. Yeah, really good RNG. Yeah, actually super good RNG. Even the tanks are cooperating. So yeah, this place is like a playground of horror.
Where's the last one? Where
the hell did he go?
No, he should be here. Is he behind City Hall?
He couldn't have gotten far. This is super early. Where'd he go? So the ground guys, the ground yellow ones specifically, are RNG where they decide to go.
Where
There's no way he's by the bank. What? There's no way.
You got the one by the bank. Are you missing the police station one? Did he go over to
You
the
got
corner?
baited. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, the one I...
Yeah, that wasn't
really good
okay.
until...
Yeah,
so you need to take down the flying guys because they'll otherwise bring back the ground guys. And after you do that, you got to target the ground guys, right? But the yellow ones, they're RNG with where they decide to go. And just, yeah. So, yeah, you take everyone down. Here's the main boss that appears. You hold forward and square, or sorry, B, and you take him down. He's easy peasy. Just, the RNG he got was unfortunately pretty bad. And it's also an issue with the N64 version where you don't get a very good render distance. So
we call that the fog of
you'd have
war.
seen where he was at for, like a mile away. That's one of the quirks about running this version. You can't see too far ahead. And that's one time where the issue rears its head.
It makes things more surprising,
Yeah.
You just reveal the curtain and sometimes the bank is destroyed. Oh no.
Actually, it was an interesting question in chat with Mega Man 64. Does it require a memory pack to save?
No, it's all on the cartridge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. A RAM cartridge kind of helps with its load speed though.
Makes sense.
But not necessary. So this boss, this is what I was talking about, where you can snipe him from really far away. On the other difficulties, what you normally do is climb up some ledges and jump on his back and then just spam mines at the door, which is an easier strat, arguably. But right here, you just kind of snipe him from really far away. Even though your buster's OP, you still gotta aim and do some setup.
Gotcha.
That was good. No mistakes there.
The birds that he might shoot out, it's a 50-50, but usually the 50-50 isn't consequential if your aim is on point. But that also can be an annoying factor. So next up, we're on our way to Cardin Forest. First going to be talking to Roll in the support car and getting really nice item, the walkie-talkie. So now second place will be able to fast travel. It'll be used a couple times in the run. And I guess one thing we haven't mentioned is just like the basic form of movement. Since we got the jet skates, It's much faster than running around, but the same principle of needing to be diagonal still applies. The difference between diagonal and straight movement when skating is not as drastic as when running, but it's still preferable. Like, it'll add up over time. You really want to be memorizing the angle in which you skate, because it's slightly different than when you run. And one of the biggest differences about skating is in this room with how he can hold forward here, have enough speed to clip through the wall. We would usually have to get a damage boost off of an enemy to gain that much speed, but he can just fly through right away.
Oh, wow.
That's how this was first discovered.
Yeah, this trick has been known for a really long time. Like, for some reason, that specific wall tile has a gap in it. They can just skate right through. It's been in there for every version of the game, been there since the beginning. And it took a lot of effort just to figure out how to do that without the skates on normal and hard mode, but been known forever on the easy, and it's always a really cool little skip there. Because what you normally have to do is you talk to a lady in front of a cave and then ran back. Talking to her is a mandatory story trigger, or else the dungeon just won't function. And then you would normally go through the cave, wait through a auto scroller where the support car comes through and you're blowing up tanks and stuff, but you just go through the wall there after talking to the lady, and then you're in here already. It's a nice skip. And in here, it's a semi-auto scroller. Like, as soon as you break the ice panel with that green chest sitting on it and activate the button, you just gotta sit here and wait for the chest to come through the conveyor belt and touch that rotating spike thing over there, the compactor, and inside of it is a little key. Because these dungeons, they have a main gimmick where you have to get 3 keys, and then you get to unlock whatever it is you're after. And this place, we're after a big old yellow crystal called a refractor. And we're going to use that to fix the boat for the next chapter of the game. But yeah, just right here, just standing in this spot, because once the chest blows up, the key will land right here at his feet. Boom.
All right, then.
The auto-scrollers are somewhat of a blessing of disguise for commentary because of how fast-paced the early game is on easy. So it gives us a chance to catch up because, like, we're just kind of zooming from point A to point B really quick. I'm going to be grabbing the jump springs here. This is necessary and pretty much multiplies Mega Man's jump height. It's needed for a later dungeon. It's just nice to have too. This is the lull puzzle. It's a little more difficult on jet skates because it is pretty easy to just get out of control and veer past the actual totem. Oh, I need to get that key, bro.
Veer past the key though. Like, if that happens to one of the buttons, you kind of have to restart the room and be like, oh, okay, I gotta go back over there. Or repress the buttons, because the whole thing is just press the 3 buttons, the force fields come down, and you don't get through there fast enough, and the buttons reset and bring the force fields back up.
There's a quick interesting question in chat about the controls game. It looks like tank controls plus limited strafing, or is it a little bit more
It's
than that?
It's kind of like tank controls. Yeah, this game has 2 control schemes. They do the same thing. It just depends on what inputs you prefer to use. But either way, it's you use the D-pad to move, and then use the shoulder buttons to turn. Or if you use the other control scheme, you use forward and back to move, and then left and right. L and R to move sideways. But use left and right on the D-pad to turn. So it is tank controls, but you also get to switch it up a little bit.
Gotcha.
So we're going to go ahead and develop the jump springs, and then we're going to use the fast travel function from the support car, and we're going to go this way so we can head straight to the boat section. And instead of traveling, like skating all the way across this big section of the map, we're just going to go ahead and use the walkie-talkie right now and just have Roll just take us there on the car and without him to skate the whole way. And then while you're there in that pause menu, you put on the jump springs. Pretty much more or less doubles your jump height, and shout out to Legends 2 for making that a default function. And come in here. And then this is where we get to use the yellow refractor to fix this boat here. And then we're going to be on another auto-scroller. It's going to be the longest one, about like maybe 5 minutes or something. So this would be like a good time to just chill, maybe talk about something, talk about how the game works and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, because at the end of this, we'll be doing a boss fight with a similar, boat theme boss. But until then, we just cruising around defending our ship, more or less.
All right, so this is my time to preach about the gospel of why Mega Man 64 is better than Mega Man Legends.
Uh-oh.
Can't wait for this.
All right, chat, get ready with your either agreements or rebuttals. Let's go.
Well, there's a lot of things about this game that are a lot better than the PlayStation version. Faster loads, for one thing. It's not the fastest version because there is a PC version, but it's the fastest console version. The menus are really fast. One of the bosses in the game is a lot easier, although there's a trade-off because there's another boss that's harder. I think the game looks nicer, but some people would disagree. I think it looks more colorful.
Strongly.
Looks better. Have you seen the pixels? Have you seen the smeared textures, man?
And look at that draw distance. How
Where?
the islands just fade out. Isn't that so
I
cool?
don't see it. No.
Are we talking like the difference between original and remake Final Fantasy VIII with Squall at the Dance going, they're the nicest looking guy here, and the face is all like this massive jumble of pixels?
Yes, but even worse, because you also smear mud on those said pixels, and that's this game.
Wow.
It's bad, dude. Like, it's Stockholm Syndrome. I also grew up with this version, so it does have like a soft place in my heart, but at the same time, I just can't deny that my eyes were open when I played the PlayStation version for the first time.
Yeah, the thing with Legends is that every port of it has some form of jankery, right? So like PSP, it has native, widescreen and such, but because it's on a PSP, the controls got nerfed. So trying to manually aim around on that version is the worst thing I've ever seen. And there's some weird graphical glitch, like if you look straight up, depending on where you're standing, all you see is ground on the screen. And the PC version, it's really fast, but it's also very unstable. So if you happen to visit City Hall for the first time and have to reset your run, well, next time you get back up to that point, the game will just crash. And it's got some silly graphical bugs. Like if you get to these sub-cities in the late game, you look in the sky and it's all green and stuff instead of spacey looking. These versions of this game they're all very silly. And in this game's case, it's just it's got low draw distance. Controller is subjective, but it does have good load speeds. Like fast loads, it also means your menus are faster because they're kind of based on loads. But then you have other. They did some other janky things like the auto aim on your buster is really aggressive, and it makes some strats either more difficult or straight up impossible. It's a very interesting port. I'll say it's probably the best port, which isn't saying a lot, but I'd say it's the best one. But just play the game. Trust me.
And I've tried to play the PS1 version, and I can't get jiggy with it like this one.
It's another thing I've noticed is that based on what control scheme you prefer, I probably know which version of the game you played first. Because the English N64 version starts you out with the control scheme where you strafe with L and R and turn with D-pad, but PlayStation everything had it to where you would move with D-pad and turn with L1, R1, right? So whichever control scheme you prefer, I'm just like, you played that version, didn't you? You played 64 first.
Oh my gosh.
There's
The
sometimes
judgment
there's
is not
some clear
unfair.
giveaways. Judging on the inside. Actually, vocally on the outside as well. Forgive me.
When I meant internally, I meant externally, so everyone knows.
Correct.
Alright, now we're watching a cutscene, and that means the auto-scroll is over.
Hey!
Just kidding.
Oh.
It's not. There's more prep for this. During the auto-scroller, after this text box comes up asking if you want to fight the boss or retreat, second place I'll be lining up a visual cue for actually fighting this boss. It's not vulnerable at the moment, so we can't just cheese it and go ahead right now. It's just straight up invulnerable, so once we get to this end of the lake here, it'd be spinning around in circles. What second is going to be aiming to do is kill the boss on the first revolution, so that as soon as the core appears, or as soon as possible, the core can appear, and the core only appears if it's obscured by the front of the boss. So you start at the left side of it, you have to kill 2 arms and 2 cannons, and then after that, if you get it all done fast enough, you won't have to wait for a whole revolution around the boss to be able to hit the exposed core, because it'll expose early. We call it the 0 cycle.
Yeah, normally if you're too late to blowing up all 4 pieces, then you have to wait 1 whole revolution around the boss. You can't really do anything other than just sit there and wait. So let's see. So we aim at this spot specifically to get some early shots on the arm and the back. So that makes doing this a whole lot easier. And boom.
Easy it was.
Nice.
You can tell if you get it if by the time you blow up your second arm is if you blow it up before it raises up for the second time to attack. Because when it goes to attack, it'll raise once, shoot, raise up again, and then shoot again. If you can blow it up before it fully raises up the second time, then you know you got it.
Nice.
So GG on that one. Now we're here in the lake ruins. I don't know how you pronounce this place's name. I know how you pronounce it in Japanese. I don't know if it applies to English. It's spelled weird, but either way, it's basically this game's water dungeon. This would be where you get the other piece for the jet skates that he's already been using for this category. And just like the other one, it's all about getting 3 keys and then going to the end to get your treasure. In this case, it's a big red refractor to repair the ship that we started this game on, which is pretty cool. And in this ruin, the keys are in chests instead of just laying around on the floor. And we're just going through these winding paths here just to get the most direct route to each key. This place is very not threatening, I would say. Unless you're talking about this big room here. There's invisible guys with claws that can be pretty scary, but since we're, skating and jumping past them, they're usually not a big issue. I'll just shout out to this little glitch here.
Yeah.
Storage.
Boski. So right there, because he landed after using his jet skates, and the only thing that happened was him falling off the ledge, continuing movement. That's the important part. He needs to be constantly moving. If he ever is not running forward or jumping forward, the storage will cease. So he was able to land on the ground and use his squat animation to start accelerating his jet skates. Just saves a second, but it's super cool.
Yeah, it skips having to wait where you just stand still and then start winding up your skates. You just land and immediately start skating. It's a really cool little storage glitch. And that big yellow can of Pringles he just went past, that's the boss. But we're not going to fight it, because you can actually skip this boss if you just skate diagonally at a very precise angle and you just go right through the trigger. So let's see. You turn until the door opens, skate diagonally, and boom, there you go. It's pretty nice. If you have the correct angle, correct positioning, and the right speed, you just go right over that trigger, because the corner is the thinnest spot of the trigger, right? And so what you do is you skate at the right angle, right speed and everything, and from one frame you're behind the trigger, and the next frame you're ahead of it, so the fight just never starts. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
The setup for doing that without the skates is obnoxiously complex and difficult, but with the skates, it's so easy. You can do it blindfolded as long as you're just, you just keep turning until you finally hear the door open. It's okay, the door opened, I can skate diagonally, I'm through it. There you go, no boss. Pretty cool. So now we're just getting our way back out of here, and you gonna do the elevator glitch?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, this one's pretty cool. You get to skip jumping on the elevator and activate it from the back. We call this, I forgot what we call it actually, but you just pretty much grab the trigger from behind, turn the camera around as soon as you let go, and this game's interactions with NPCs and other objects are based on your camera angle, not just only being close to them. So you just grab the trigger from behind, turn around so that the camera thinks, oh, you're in front of it. And there you go, you just activate the elevator without having to jump on it. Nice little, second time saver. Pretty neat.
That's cool.
We got the red refractor. We can go ahead and fix the flutter. Now we have access to another dungeon. First, gonna do a little prep first. We need to grab this special weapon called the Grand Grenade. And the Grand Grenade is definitely grand. Unfortunately, it won't reach its full potential just because of how strong the max buster is. But it's going to be necessary anyway because there's a ceiling that we're going to have to break through. And only 3 specific weapons can break through the ceiling, and we're grabbing the most convenient one. It's going to be used for a boss, but as far as DPS goes, yeah, our buster max is way superior. In terms of, like, in normal mode, we would have to go do a side quest to get the 200,000 Zenny to upgrade it, but that just takes too much time for how much efficiency the Buster Max provides. And going to be developing it as well as equipping it. Very important, because right now, second place has been running around with no special weapon, and if you don't equip it, you're gonna walk up to that ceiling and just kind of kick at thin air and feel like a big idiot. That's unacceptable.
Can confirm it's happened to pretty much everyone who's ever ran this game, myself included. Everyone in this chat. You go in there. All right, I'm gonna look up so they'll get. Wait a minute. Where are my grenades? Crap. Go back and get them.
And I'm assuming that's the point where everybody watching reminds you, oh, by the way, we forgot to mention, you forgot something.
Yes. So we put them on just now, so we're good. Don't have to worry about that. So in this dungeon, instead of unlocking like a treasure or something, we want to activate this control panel to open the final dungeon. But to do that, we need the 3 keys, and they're ID cards instead of like key-shaped things. But yeah, so the same whole gimmick here, except the issue with this place that there's a lot of doors. But yeah, there's another boss here, and we got a really cool strat for it. It's gonna be like an AI abuse where you just kind of make the boss just completely harmless. It'll be pretty cool. But until then, we're just kind of jumping and skating around, opening chests for the keys, and just going past all the enemies because they're also pretty harmless. Like, as long as you just know where to go. Aside from one hallway where if you don't pay attention to your skating, you might just ram straight into one of these shield guys. Jump off here, go into this left door, and then this is a series of like thin hallways, so you gotta be careful here you don't bonk into one of these shield guys. There's one right there, one right here. I bonked him a number of times. It's pretty sad every time it happens. So in this room, 2 of the keys are in here, but you can't get one right away. We get this first one to the left, and then we turn around and activate this giant purple generator so that the elevators in this place will work. And the key is up high behind it, but in order to reach it, we have to loop around some elevators and some rooms, fight the boss I mentioned, and then you'll end up there above the generator to get the last key.
Hey, speaking of interacting with things, I forgot the best part about N64. The interaction distance with objects is way higher on this version. Like, you can talk to a chest from really far away, and like NPCs too.
Yeah, I will admit that's another bonus, because sometimes I'm just like, you know what, that would have worked on 64. So here's that said boss. It's actually 3 bosses in one fight. And they're like these big old dog-shaped looking guys that can leap at you with like a tackle and breathe fire at you. But what we're going to do is skate straight up to this door. Are you going to be against the door, or are you doing the line strat?
The usual.
Let's see. Okay, standing on the line. So if you're at this perfect distance from the door, they just walk up to it and they never manage to turn around. And you just blow them up just like that.
What?
Even got the insta grab on the money too. That's awesome.
Yeah, if this was
So
100%, that would be nice.
Yeah, their AI is pretty silly. They don't do anything unless they're on the screen. But also, if you position yourself just the right distance away from the door or a wall or something, they struggle to really turn all the way around to face you again. If you're a little bit further back, they would start turning around. If you got too close, they would just do a leap attack and hit you. But at the right distance, They just sit there and kind of wiggle in place, and you're just like, well, okay, I'll just take this opportunity, no problem.
It is important to note that they do not have active hitboxes unless they perform an attack. So yeah, he pretty much just had 3 bosses run right through him and took him out like a boss himself. Like, it's pretty good, because what we used to do, like, it was the same concept, but being able to do it the set distance away from the wall made lining up the visual cue and performing it actually faster and more consistent. So that was a really neat find.
Yeah, I found that on complete accident from trying to mess around with the game. I'm just like, what kind of silly task only strat can I figure out for this boss? Oh, wait a second. Why are they just sitting there not turning around and hitting me? What's going on here? This might be faster. Let's go. Fun fact, the 64 version for the old strat had an advantage on that fight as well. Because like we used to just run up to the door and look straight up so that they're off camera and don't do anything. But on 64, when you do that, you can see their shadows below you, so you can see when they're there. But on the other versions, you can't see their shadows. So the 64 had a slight advantage for that, but now it's no longer needed.
Yeah, one advantage for 64 taken away.
Rip.
Sounded so sad saying that.
But the fight got faster, man.
The greater good. We're getting ambushed, by the way. Heads up. Like, I know I just sprung that on you, but the Bonds here have sent a fleet of mini ships over, and I'm going to be using this first grenade here just to have damage on it as soon as it comes out of iframes, because they're actually invincible until they assemble in this line, and then just take them out right here. This boss, depending on the difficulty, goes pretty differently. It's the same concept either way, though. You aim for a wing, kill the wing, aim for the belly, kill the belly, but it's the boss coming up that might troll you, because this boss goes the same way every single time on easy mode.
Yeah, this specific fight right here is pretty much an auto-scroller, but the 3-phase fight, first one was the mini ships, and this one is the big ship itself. This one is pretty much has, goes the same way every time. And then the next one after this is this red flying thing. That's, it's got some RNG to it. It can, like, do an attack at random moments. It can be early on, it can be late and just not...
That's the worst.
We don't want to see.
That is the worst. It can do so much other stuff.
Oh,
and you hit the invincible thumb! Let's go!
Wait, what?
Love this game.
Yeah, that's an issue that's on all versions, by the way, is that depending on your angle of attacking the boss, you might hit the invincible spot, and it's just like, oh, are you serious? Why does this boss have an invincibility area? It's like, just frustrating. Anyway. Yeah, that fight has RNG. It can be obnoxious, but we're through it. It's just a time loss more than anything. And then coming up next, we're gonna be going down the spiral of the final dungeon. But we don't stay in the final dungeon until it's done. We go in there, activate the final 3 sub dungeons, and then come back later after we get their individual keys. So this place is a big spiral. We're gonna go in here, activate the sub dungeons, and then on our way out, we have to fight the pirates that we just beat one more time. They're driving like this big gray Gundam named Bruno. That's his actual name, trust me. His full name is Theodore Bruno. They fully named a robot. But yeah, its weakness is pretty much the spine in the middle. And this is one of 64's unfortunate disadvantages, is that they changed that boss's AI to make him start moving like ASAP. Whereas all the other versions, he just kind of stands there a little bit at first, then he starts moving. So doing the quick kill on this version is quite a bit harder. But as long as you practice, it kind of goes the same way no matter what version you're playing. But if you mess up a little bit, it's far more punishing here, unfortunately.
Starting off the fight, gonna get some free pot shots in, but second place is gonna have to avoid these big green orbs. Or just intentionally take damage and jump up on this box here. Yeah, it might be a little too late for the quick kill, but it's fine because you can wrap it up without much issue after he turns.
The safest strat for dealing with these orbs is just roll and you're good. And then for fighting this guy on like every difficulty, even casually, just stay behind him and he's relatively harmless. Also, yeah, we want to blow up these fence segments so that like they're not in the way on the way to that black box we were standing on. Because that's one of the smaller dungeons we're going to be going into that was unlocked by the one we were just in. They're called sub-cities, and the objective is to defeat every enemy in here so that the main building unlocks, and then there's a key. So some of these enemies in some of these places, like we call these guys hippos. You got the green ones and you got the pink ones.
I can't unsee
They have
that.
RNG to their they have RNG to what they do, and sometimes they get really obnoxious with their aggressive patterns, and sometimes they can get really annoying. Then you have these antenna guys and the little walker guys that are controlled by the antennas. Those guys are relatively harmless. It's mainly the pink hippos going to be a big problem. But the main thing you want to do for these rooms is to just run while shooting. Because it's kind of, what's it called? Is it Doppler effect or something like that? I could be thinking the wrong thing, but it's where you're running towards your target while shooting, and it increases your DPS. So the more targets you have kind of like in your line of sight, the faster you'll take them down, which is your main way of taking down all the enemies in these places. So that's the old city one down first. We got 2 more to go. And the next one's in the downtown, the main central section of the city. And that one, it's more of the annoying enemies I was talking about, on top of the claw dudes, but there's pink ones and they're huge. And if you lose track of them, they can sneak up on you and hit you like a truck. So you gotta make sure you keep track of where they're at. And unfortunately on 64, they can be harder to track because of the fog of war. So let's see. Is he to your left? No, he's behind the buildings. Okay. All right, we see where they're at. We can keep track of them now. The one on the left, I'm concerned. He might be on his way. No, he's hiding. Okay.
Mostly cooperative from those guys. They can just wander off into a corner, wrap around the buildings, do whatever it is that is not fast. But these guys were very well behaved. The hippos too in the last one came towards second place for the most part. So yeah, this enemy AI can get under your skin, but this was pretty harmless. But the next boss, it's a sub-city in which the only goal really is to take out the big, like, huge centipede reaver bot, but you also have to take out any of the bots that it spawns. They come out the back, and usually it would be a task of like enemy management, making sure not too many spawn at once, but we just mow them down. And it's really important to actually pace shots on this on the back here if you were playing the PS1 version, because the N64 version can just spray and pray. It's no big deal, because for some reason the boss's health bar was like broken in the original release, and they fixed it for the 64 release. So we would usually have to actually spread out our shots, do like a 2, then 2, or a 1, then 3, to make sure that the rear end doesn't close too fast. But 64 doesn't have that problem, which is another nice feature. Good job, 64.
More 64 advantages.
But yeah, a little more of an innocuous quirk too on this difficulty is how this guy can go either left or right. He went right here, which is really nice, because that means the fight will end closer to this pyramid, just to second place's right, and that's where we need to go next. If he went left, you'd be all the way across the map, and it would take several seconds. I don't know how you could even run after that. So
yeah.
Thankfully, just saving a couple seconds here.
At that point, you'll just want to play the PlayStation version.
Oh,
No, don't say that.
Yeah, so that was the third sub-city here. We have all 3 keys. We defeated our good old pal with his last name, Janus. I'll let you figure out the rest. So now we're going to go back into the main gate, go all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to use those 3 keys to unlock the 3 main doors to the final boss, and his name is Megaman Juno. He's the big skill check in the game in regards to boss fights in this game. He's a lot more mobile. His attacks are a lot more widespread if you don't know what you're doing. So, but really all you have to do is you can keep circle strafing if you want, but the whole thing is to just jump at the right moments. And for the first form, you want to just stay near the wall because he'll teleport after some attacks that he does. And it'll make his position predictable. And yeah, gotta jump over these guys because they're blocking the way. They put 2 of them together this time. So yeah, Juno, he can be pretty tough if you don't really practice. He can be kind of a noob slayer there. Here's the 3 main doors: Watcher, Sleeper, and Dreamer. The names of the keys.
We're gonna go into a cutscene, skipping as soon as possible. We can't skip right away, but you can buffer the skip, and we're gonna be jump scared by our friend Ryan here. And Ryan's gonna let us know how the boss fight with Juno is gonna go.
Oh,
he was pretty aggressive, so I'm feeling a spicy omen coming from that one. That dude can just like kind of block your path or shoot you, or he's usually harmless, but sometimes he just wants to party. But another thing you could do is, it's more applicable on normal and hard, but it is possible to die on Juno on easy mode. You could actually use those enemies that he passed right there to gain an invincibility state, but second place is too good for that, so he's just going to charge in, and he's going to constantly be firing a stream of bullets at this man as soon as...
That's the worst attack of his to deal with.
Yeah, you don't want spinning lasers. You really don't want Juno to be slamming into the wall repeatedly or repeatedly jumping.
And you don't want that middle attack either. You want him to do like, well, you want him ideally to be like ramming at you, or like just doing this thing where he rises up and does lasers vertically towards you. You were right. It's a little spicy. He's giving us some that attack. You want to see that one the most.
Vertical lasers is the best, and he saved it for last, of course. So now the fight gets changed up in that you want to stay closer to the center in this one as opposed to staying near the walls. That's because when Juno does the jumping maneuver after the main attacks, he can constantly jump if you're near a wall, but if you're near the center, it'll always go for the swipe next. So this is actually behaving much better. Gonna be pretty much, circle strafing. This attack would normally be really bad, but yeah, this is like the best thing he could possibly do on easy mode. You can just mow him down. Oh boy.
Spicy. So that's what we mean, where he'll do like more jumps and stuff if he's near the wall, but we're good. We got him.
Scary.
GGs.
No, not even scary, bro. You got it.
Don't
Come on, this is
Juno
first
smell
try.
your fear. If he smells your fear, man, that's when he gets you. But we got it. Boom, GG, and that's time.
That's time.
Nice. Yeah, that was a little, I think the game was a little upset that there was at least a little bit of love for the PlayStation version, not entirely the N64 version, so I was like, it'll make you regret that. But yeah, GG's. Let everybody know where they can find you, all 3 of you. What do you stream, when do you stream, and any other shoutouts you might have.
My streams are not really set, but they're usually like more later in the evening. I try to stream every other day if I can. You can usually find me doing speedruns, or I play plenty of casual games too. So it's pretty much a mix of everything. But yeah, you can find me at Second Place 92 on Twitch.
Nice.
And as for me, Twitch TV/Blue Metal. I don't stream as often as I want to. I got some anxiety issues, some health issues. I'm not gonna go into it, or else I'd stream a lot more often. But that's where you can find me. I usually stream speedruns of this series. Sometimes I dabble into other series like Nier, Metal Gear, Xenosaga, stuff like that. But yeah, my only real stream time is just sometime in the evening,
Nice.
give or take.
My streaming schedule is pretty sporadic. Sometimes I'll go like every day of the week. Sometimes I'll go like once a month. But typically, these days I've been streaming Final Fantasy X speedruns, been doing Metal Gear. I really love this series, so I always eventually come back to it. And it's just a whole lot of fun to be speedrunning these RNG heavy games over and over.
But they are fun though.
Can be. Feel on that
Yeah,
one.
definitely. Like, we love this series a lot. We've done so much labbing and just getting these games down to a science, even though we have to deal with the RNG shenanigans. But we love these games. We're very dedicated, very, we put a lot of work into this stuff. And if you want to join the community, we got Discord links on the speedrun leaderboards, like on speedrun.com. You can find them really easily over there. We're welcoming to pretty much everybody. If you're interested in running any of these games, Legends 1, Legends 2, Misadventures of Tronbon, we got you covered. Willing to answer any questions, help you out and everything. So,
Nice.
Yeah, definitely just shout out to the Legends community as a whole. It's probably the best community I've ever been a part of.
You can say we're just a bunch of buds.
We got your back.
Awesome. Well, again, everybody give plenty of GGs to second place. And we'll be right back, shifting gears a little bit and heading into the Power Fighters. So stay tuned. Hello again, and welcome back, friends, to Mega Man Monday on Express Lane. Just a quick reminder, if you missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows, like Bargain Bin, which was also a fantastic Mega Man Monday, make sure you check out the VODs over at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. But for right now, like I said, we're shifting gears a little bit and going to Mega Man 2, the Power Fighters, with the one, the only Bratterfield. So, Bratterfield, welcome. Tell us about Power Fighters.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me on, Oscar. This is Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters. It's a arcade spin-off boss rush game. So if you're a fan of just lots of the robot busting action, this game skips the levels and just does the fights. It does have some semblance to a fighting game and has some even fighting game mechanics. I am the solo world record holder for both two of the stories. There's 3 total. Search for Wily and recover the missing parts. I have the world record for normal and very hard difficulties. And joining me is one of the world record holders for all the co-op categories, DBK-san, all the way from Japan. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm excited to see you crush this live today. And we're going to see a couple of changes. You were telling me a little bit about some new skips that you found, skipping the little Eddie bot and a couple other things. So I think there's a very high chance we could see a world record. I saw some pretty good times in practice.
Oh,
so I'm pretty hyped.
Nice.
thank you. Yeah, I hope some of my best RNG doesn't happen in the green room, but we'll see. There's some things that I've done to optimize the game in the past couple years, and it does involve just like minimizing the fighting game like fall down animations or some of the cutscenes from power-ups, and then just optimal gameplay, because it has a lot of like, it's an arcade game, so it's a little bit difficult. I can still die even in some attempts. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. We'll see what the RNG gives me today. Time will start when I pick the first story, and then time will end after I fight the third Wily capsule. Get the last hit, and I'll call for that.
All right.
We showed settings.
Oh yeah, let's do that, actually. It's a good idea to show that I'm doing the normal mode. This is on the Steam version of the Capcom Arcade Second Stadium. And game settings. Check it out, we're on normal.
Yeah, this game was originally on the arcade, and then it was ported. There's a PS2 version out there, and then now we have this wonderful version, the Capcom Arcade Collection. So
Nice.
Yeah. I picked Proto Man because he's got a really cool dash. He also looks really cool. Mega Man is the second most optimal. The slide chains not as quickly as Proto Man. And then with Forte here, or Base, he has a dash that just jumps over some of the orbs. That's going to be important to talk about like after the first fight here. Well, I'll be ready to start. I'll count it down in 3, 2, 1, go.
GG.
let's say Wily.
One of the first changes here is I fight Centaur Man first, where a lot of the runs that I saw on the leaderboard started with Shadow Man. But Centaur Man likes to block a lot, and I know that Shadow Man has a harder phase too, but I found a fast way to deal with it.
Very nice.
Yeah, you're going to see Bratterfield-san doing a lot of the jumping mid-shot throughout this run. He's perfected that quite effectively by doing short hops, and we tend not to do full charge shots anymore just because it knocks down and loses us a little bit of time. So now the worst, in my opinion, one of the hardest fights, play it, man.
Yeah,
I say that with animosity.
Oh yeah, we fight him round 2, or on very hard you fight him first. But we want to avoid a phase 2 animation that hasn't happened yet. But he would use plant barrier, and it would just be iframes until he decides to throw it at us.
Well then.
So it could be random. Yeah. Here's we'll get to see our first phase 2 glow here with gyro, and I'll get to use a weapon for once. So we'll get to see the weakness animation play. Avoid that. But yeah, this medium charge.
Shots.
There's some damage numbers I want to throw. Oh, there we go. The Eddie Manip that we talked about briefly.
Very nice.
I actually learned that. I discovered it this year in the practice room of SGDQ 2023. Just want to say.
Oh, wow.
Eddie Forget It. Where it happened and how I was able to make it consistent was thank you to World 9, you know.
Nicely done.
All right, next we're heading to Bubble Man.
Yep. Fighting Force, this
Bubble
is
Man, Bubble Man.
Yeah, a full route of all the Robot Masters and their weakness and their damage numbers for their weapons. I want to avoid like the weakness animation and the falling down on weaker weapons that would only do 6 on a weakness hit instead of like 12 or 8 or something serious. So we're going to use some off buster weapons that also hit pretty fast. Like this is 3 per shot. Oh, they chased the bubble that went off screen. A little unlucky. Look at the blocking. Some skill with the parries. Perfect.
Yeah, Bubble Man can also throw crabs on the screen and other things too that just misdirect homing weapons or some of your other shots. They can get in the way. So a little bit of an annoying fight if you miss the pattern. And Shadow Man.
Here we go. So this can be a little bit tougher. The bosses get more and more health each round. And with a round 5 boss fight, we're going to have, you know, some serious shady shenanigans with this guy. But right here, summons a giant prop. Wait for it. Eddie Forgetty once again. I got him to leave, forgetting what he came here for. And yeah, with this weapon, we have a faster kind of phase 2. He doesn't fall down. That's the big thing about waiting for round 5 is that you can use the weakness without the bounce.
Oh, nice.
That, like,
Even with the weakness flash, that was a really good time. So,
oh, yeah. Doing good so far.
now we're on to Heat Man.
So, saving Heatman for last. The bubble lead, it does 4 normally. But with Heatman, it'll do 8. So instead, most of the runs have Bubble Man last. And Bubble Man last is hitting him with Shadow Man, which is 6 hits, 6 damage per hit. But if we use Bubble Lead here, we'll get Eddie to leave one more time. He hasn't gotten me yet.
Nice.
Hasn't even dropped a power up. What is he there for? Cameo?
Yeah, being able to skip Eddie, by the way, is such a big deal because Eddie usually drops a power up, and especially in, well, even in 1-player and 2-player, it flies towards you where your location is. So a lot of the times we accidentally end up stepping over it, and that actually resets your charge or whatever move you're doing. So it's pretty bad, and you lose time on top of that. So it's extremely annoying.
Yeah. Oh, there's
So
a
being
first
able to
example.
skip it is a huge deal.
Oh yeah. It plays a cutscene and it loses your weapon. You're forced to use Buster only, so that could ruin a lot of weapon-based strats. And we got to see an example of hyper armor with Mad Grinder here.
Oh no!
It's okay. His one of his attacks actually has hyper armor in it, where he won't go flying back. We can hit him several times. That wasn't too bad. So we'll get to see that a few more instances of hyper armor that'll let us do even quick kills from full to 0. But yeah, the Eddie power-ups is like the strongest ledge guard in the history of fighting gaming. It'll like make you very fearful of like ruining your fight.
Gotcha.
But here we are in Wily Machine number 1. There's going to be 3 of these fights. This is the hardest with the shield attacker here, and then all of the bullet spam from Wily and the shield attacker. So I'm going to throw a lot of my weapons at the boss, the neutral damage. And right about here is where I'm going to start using the actual weakness. Weak to bubble, but I don't want to use too much of it. We want to save some for the second phase, the actual capsule fight. But here we can loop and take a little bit of a breath. But it is random on how often that shield attacker shows up, and it's brutal. Has enough moves to be like an assist trophy in Smash. It's enough to ruin a lot of runs with projectiles and even afterburners to like attack behind it. It's really the most dangerous. Here we go. I'm gonna use some Buster Strats here to do 8 damage to Wily. I'm gonna do that again here. Switch to Bubble.
Are we doing 2 shots each? Okay, we're doing bubble. Okay.
Oh, look at
Nice.
that Bubble refill.
And you got a refill.
So that's 4 per hit with the Bubble. And I'm doing 12 on those times I was able to hit him 3. So that's the first capsule. We're gonna actually reset.
Nice.
Now, what was
We're
that
still
timer
going.
at the bottom of that?
Wily can escape, and it does still count if he gets away. If the timer reaches 0, that would be the time for the run.
Gotcha.
But you want to take him out because that's faster.
That makes sense.
So this is story 2, rescue Roll. We have to find Roll and rescue her. But it's really cool because she steals an upgrade while she's gone. It's not so much just rescuing. So the RNG factor here is when Roll shows up. And it could be anything after the first fight. So we get Thunder Beam because it's really strong. Triple hit, just like Mega Man 1. Here we go. I'm going to chase Slash Man and do Thunder Beam. That was such a good fight. The round timer was 86. Gonna be the highest.
amazing.
Ever. A lot of execution there. Fully charged shot, a dash to chase in, swap weapons. No roll though. Got to keep going. Roll doubles your weapon energy and gives you a power up to your fully charged shot. Just saw some iframe shenanigans from Cutman. He actually absorbed one of my hits, but still a very clean fight.
Nice clean fight. Yeah, the worst thing that Cutman can do is he'll cut into the background and disappear, and then can appear out of one of 4 places on the screen. That's the worst. We lose about 10-15 seconds on there. So all the bosses have a very trolly animation that they can do, including Stone Man.
Oh yeah. Hopefully you don't see
Who
it too
can do this.
often. He can block on Wake Up and just like throw a wall. There it is.
Hey.
It looks like he's dabbing. When you see the dab, that's when the shield's coming up.
Shout out to Power Stone though. He's got one of the coolest moves, referencing another Capcom game. But that was another Eddie for Getty and another
Nice.
another fast fight. No rolls, still no roll, but still good fights. All right, Shade Man could be really, really bad. Let's hope for a quick kill. Another example of hyper armor. If he does the thing, he's doing the thing.
He's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing the thing. Mash.
What?
Okay.
Oh, that was
No
All right,
reaction
so
to his weakness.
What happened there? It happened so fast that we have to explain it real quick. But basically, Shade Man can hover up above the ground or go into a state where the hyper armor is set and it'll do a set shooting pattern. And all you have to do really is just run up and shoot. And same with Dive Man here. If Dive Man blinks its light or starts to spin underground, then we can just go ham on the controller and try and mash point blank.
nice.
So
Ooh, that's one time I narrowly dodged the power up. Just barely mistimed the manip there. And yeah, that boss was actually weak to Thunderbeam. Funny story.
I love
But they all go down.
the animations they have when they take damage and like the shocked look on their face.
There's so much life and love put into the sprite work in this game. Is in that golden age of sprite fighters. Like, I want more like this. It looks like an upgraded or arcade version of Mega Man 7 style.
Yeah.
But then you got Robot Masters from 1 to 7. And, well, we're getting trolled here by Yellow Devil. Shout out to Yellow Devil. Still weak to Thunder Beam, by the way.
Nice.
No Eddie, so that's lucky. You can appear at any phase 2 or if your health gets really low. So he doesn't care that I'm at full health and full ammo. He'll show up to do a thing. But not this time.
Nice.
Yeah, Bratterfield Son getting one of the triple shots up close, so all 3 of the shots hit right away. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, when you're just watching this for the first time, but there is a lot of skill in being able to walk right up to the enemy's hitbox and then do your move. Because if you're slightly off or slightly away, only 1 or 2 shots will go in. You just end up doing considerable amount less.
Yeah, I'm getting trolled a
Good
little bit
use.
here, but there we go. Little bit of
Nice.
Thunder Beam at the end to make the second phase. This is a lot faster than Wily Machine 1 because of it's a lot less hectic with the enemy. There's just a little turret guy. If he's on the
2
other side-
shots, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, this capsule 2 cycle if we do it right. Triple hits.
There you go.
That's 2. Let's go. Let's restart for the next one.
All right.
Yeah, this third one's gonna be just like the first fight for all of these. So, what are you thinking? How's everybody doing? How's chat doing?
Chad, notice your slight resemblance to Mike Myers from Wayne's World.
Oh yeah, excellent. Not.
You run the Wonder Swan version of this game.
Today I learned there was a Wonder Swan version.
Do you mean that? Did you know? You mean a Neo Geo Pocket Color?
Oh yeah, Battle and Fight.
Is there a Wonder Swan version of this game?
I don't know about Wonder
Sure.
Swan.
I've never heard of a Wonder Swan version. I know there's a Neo Geo Pocket Color version, which yes, I do speedrun.
Nice.
If there's a Wonder Swan version, I will go out and buy it right now. But that is news to me. That's
TBK sounds like say the word. I got it.
I'm ready for Wonder Swan Power Fight. With Super Arm after Guts Man, we can just throw rocks at everybody. It's great.
yeah. It's especially nice against Pharaoh Man because Pharaoh Man, if you normally knock down, will sink into the ground and then disappear. So, just in general, wakes up slower than all the other bosses. So
Nice.
you end up just kind of staring at him, and it's easy also to miss time because of that. Quick Man. And by the way, if you're trying to memorize the order, you can still approach this game any way you want. Like all of the runners play different order. Myself, I go for Quick Man first and then Pharaoh Man. So
Oh, that's a heavy hit, but it's all right. Fairwind is going to be our backup here. He's knocking me around. Quick Man.
oh,
There we go.
a perfect
It is.
block.
It covers a lot of the screen. That wave is really good. And it's going to be a great backup weapon after Super Arm goes out. But you hope to get refills because it does do as much damage as a charge shot, but I can fire 2 shots back to back and stun lock enemies in the corner if things go well. Right here, we can barely see Napalm Man. It'd give us a little more screen there for Napalm Man to get bodied in the corner. Normally, I try to hide it for the folks at home. Oh, geez. There's another Annie.
There's the item troll.
There we go. But we're gonna do some. I feel like it fires a little bit faster in the center because the projectiles leaving the screen maybe allow us to fire again. Makes most sense to me, but
Yeah.
not bad at all. Okay.
Live Mega Man theory crafting.
Oh yeah, I laugh this constantly. Like the route. I wonder if I should fight this person last, try to get the most health, taking down the fastest, and that's how I've discovered that Airman 6
Hey,
is still possible.
Hey. Nice.
Yeah,
Ah.
Eddie, forget it. Get out of here. Another one. There's so many that happened here. Oh my wow. Normally I would just go up to the opposite end and be really scared. I've been just going for these.
Very
'Cause I'd be
nice.
shooting.
Good job remembering to get away from the explosions. By the way, if you are near the explosion, the game actually lags a little bit. So that's why Bratterfield Son's always running away
It is
Gotcha.
from the
3
explosion
minutes.
and then getting the orbs.
Here we go, Airman. Let's hope for it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no, too early.
I can't
I
believe
felt it. I
Here we go. Take 2.
maybe jumping. Go.
Nice.
There we go.
Boulders in your face.
It was just a prank at the first time. Okay, here we go. So hyper armor during the jet engine there. The whole time he's throwing air at us, we can just throw rocks.
Makes sense.
Okay, Mega Man 2 fans. Mech Dragon. And for reference, Mech Dragon here is weak to Quick Blade. We do have Quick Boomerang in this run, but it's not, I mean, it would do the same damage as throwing rocks right here. And we'd get the slow cutscene. So we're going to just throw rocks.
Makes sense.
We get Wily 1, we get the Mech Dragon cameo. It's great. This really just celebrates the classic series and just gives you this streamlined... and the sprite art, it's just so good.
Oh, 100%.
So if it's been like 20 years since you've seen this in the wild at an arcade, you gotta pick it up on the arcade second stadium. So I'm gonna do a little bit of Buster, a little bit of my 3 favorite weapons here. I'm gonna throw the Pharaoh Wave to do 4 damage every time it hits, just about as fast as the Buster would be, but I'm also covering myself from little eggies, little baby Mech Dragons that are showing up. They're really cute, but they're dangerous.
They are.
And they will eat some of the shots that I'm trying to give Wily. They don't deserve it.
Oh!
And that interference with the lock on. Yeah, a lot can be
Still
going
in
on
there.
here.
Nice.
But that's a good Wily
Last.
Machine 3.
Last Wily machine.
Time is coming up on the last hit. I will call it when it happens. We're going to use Napalm Bomb. And if you're a fan of damage stacks from like Symphony of the Night or maybe Harmony of Dissonance, that can happen with this weapon. So I'm firing.
Oh, there we
2
go. That
napalm
was a big
bombs.
one.
No, get down from there. I can angle the super arm up and time.
Time.
Now, I'm gonna wait till I see time. I don't. It's not a world record, but it's
Yeah.
close.
It's
Let's
really
just say
close.
you definitely PB'd.
What? What are we talking? Sub 18?
How about a 1738?
Whoa, that's like 10 seconds off. 11 seconds off world record.
No, that
Ooh,
is 8 seconds, 8.7 seconds off world record.
Hi, YouTube.
Hi, we're gonna be chasing this world record. That's a really good second place there.
Yeah, I see that 1811
That was nice.
posted on speedrun.com. So that's gonna have to get updated.
You are correct. Oh my goodness, thank you.
17
Yeah,
minutes,
I could feel-
38.7 seconds.
Oh, there's just a few, some rough patterns. You saw me. There was a little bit of roughness with a couple of fights, but that's how it is. Like, the AI can really just arcade you and remind you that this was meant to eat your quarters.
Yeah, Quickman gave you trouble this time, which
Yeah.
is kind of goofy.
Usually doesn't. That's the thing. I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to just unlock everybody with rocks, but yeah.
Someone in chat's
This-
like, PB Precipice, hello?
Whoa, yeah. That might have been, I want to say, I might have been like, hey, I might PB, I might world record. I don't know. But yeah, folks, if you're a fan of Mega Man games, this is a really good pickup game. That's why it's on Express Lane here. This was 17 something, like 1738. Wow.
Yeah.
So my marathon estimate is 25 minutes. You can definitely smoke that. That is just with a little bit of practice. You'd always get like a sub 10 minute run and put that on speed run. Somebody, recently did that too. If you're not good at mashing, this is a anti-mash. It's like 1 damage per lemon, and it only does like 3 hits before that stun that you were seeing. So, hey, look, was that 0? Anyway, this, just big celebration of like the X from 8, and DB runs co-op. So there's co-op strats. I do a lot of the solo categories here, and just appreciate you for having me here on Hotfix. Thank you.
Of course. And again, if chat wants to see you smash that world record, where can they find both you, Bradfield, and then you, DBK Song?
Well, I'm usually here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Bratterfield. Sometimes I'm doing speedruns or a little bit of digital art. And yeah, I might be chasing this world record very soon.
I'm Twitch Big D, Big B CADE DBK, and yeah, I'm pretty much playing a lot of co-op games. So if you want to just learn the game and learn how to chain super moves into each other and just have some fun learning the route, I've shown it to many people, and I'm happy to teach you as well. It's easy to come grab me because I'm usually online mashing that arcade stick. So, and luckily you don't even have to mash. Like Bratterfield's on, it's not even kidding. Like you actually mashing in this game can be bad at times because there's a hit limit. So you're better off just like being methodical and timing and taking your time. I think it's a great like entranceway for someone trying to get good at maybe some Mega Man boss fights, and then a bridge into maybe you're like, oh, I really like this, I want to run some other Mega Man games. That's the way I look at it, because it's not quite a fighting game, but it's not quite a Mega Man game. It's like that perfect marriage. So
Nice.
yeah, I had fun watching. This is crazy that I got to see you live. I get so close to world record. I really think that we're gonna see sub 17 possibly soon.
That'd be wild.
What do we think?
That would be so wild. There'd be so much that would have to line up, but it could be possible.
Well, chat, give GG's once again to Bratterfield with the awesome run of Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters, and an extra GG for getting a PB here. But do not go anywhere. We have one more run. We are heading over to Extreme 2, so sit tight and we'll be back with some more Express Lane. Hello, one more time for the night, friends, and welcome back to our final run of this Mega Man Monday on Express Lane. Before we get to the run, I have one tiny quick announcement, and that is, if you're watching on YouTube, first off, hi! But be sure to press that like button you see on this video and actually subscribe to the channel. Also, you might want to go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick to watch our shows live. So definitely check us out on Twitch and on YouTube. But for right now, I'm going to turn us over to Tempest Mask 1000 with Mega Man Xtreme 2. Tempest, welcome.
I can't believe I'm here. Honestly, I can't. But here I am. Hello, friends and fellow gamers. My name is Tempest Mask 1000. Some of you know me as Steve. And the fact that I have the pleasure of doing my first ever GDQ speedrun is more than words could ever express. But this is Mega Man Xtreme 2, also known as Rockman X2 Solar Racer in Japan. This was my very first speed game that I picked up circa 2020, and is also the first X game I ever owned. Trust me when I say you all are in for a treat. This is something that I've always wanted to showcase for GDQ. This game has been shown here on this channel though, and I'd actually like to make a very quick shout out to a very good runner friend of mine in Focus Sight. Unfortunately, he was not quite able to join me for tonight's run, but I'll be thinking of him as we go along because he wishes me well, and I know that he's a very good pal of mine as far as the two of us both just running this game and having a great time. He is a world record holder of some of the game itself, and well, we got quite a bit of folks. It's actually a handful of runners themselves, but yeah, we'll talk more about that soon. We got a game to run. I'm a little bit on adrenaline as much as I can. All right, so real quick, we got to go over the settings. The select button is going to be set to my character swapping feature, which we are doing extreme no credits warp. This is going to be pretty similar to what Focus did for Summer Games Done Quick, albeit with a bit of a twist in that we're not running 100% and something else in mind. Rapid fire is also going to be turned on, and auto charge is going to be turned off, and this is going to be through the entire run. Okay, so time will begin once I have done selected extreme mode.
All right.
Let's get on with it.
Count down when you're ready.
2, 1, go! Oops. Hold on.
Ah,
Can we
false
restart?
False
Hang on. Okay, one more time. This time with feeling. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, that time it worked.
Now, good luck.
The controller needed a second there. All right. So, how we doing this? Well, you saw earlier in the bargain bin Mega Man X4, and this game actually takes place before that and right after Mega Man X3. This game is modeled very much after the Super Nintendo titles, but also the PlayStation stuff in mind. And this game actually did launch before Mega Man X6, so it's keeping that in mind that this game does take a few, I guess you could say, cues of the PlayStation style, but you know, it's really more of a love letter to Super Nintendo, as we'll be seeing going on. And X, if you could dash a little, please, thank you. So, dashing in this game, we gotta go ahead and just talk about that right away, because it's not your usual stuff. It's not your usual Mega Man X affair. There's no dedicated dash button to be found here. Rather, there are two methods, one of which being the double tap dash or command dash, which you're probably familiar with that if you played a Mega Man X game. Aside from that, though, we've got a down plus A dash. I'm going to be using that maybe a few times, but most consistently is going to be the double tapping. Anyway, that was Skullhead. I like to call him Mega Skeletor because he kind of just... I grew up with the He-Man 2000 series. He's, it's, you know, Mega Evolution from Pokemon. Shout out to Pokemon runners. Y'all rock. And yeah, that was our intro stage right there. There's actually a different path depending on whether you're playing as X or Zero. And the bottom path is usually a little bit faster, consistently speaking, anyhow. So, you know, it's usually preferred to just take this on as X, and in extreme mode, it does matter which character destroys the gate that claw enemy was guarding, because then that determines which path will be taken. There is one other instance in extreme mode that will quantify such condition. For now, we won't be seeing that until much later on. By the way, can I just mention that that actually tied with probably my best split of the intro stage somehow? That's...
Nice.
You don't usually see that happening at all.
Well, I like how in the notes that you wrote, Skullhead can be a bit problematic. Yeah, I watched that run. That was not problematic at all.
He can be, though. It's true. But hey, we got the good luck, and it looks like we had exact DNA souls. Asuka, do you mind explaining that a little bit?
Well, let's see here. You needed to purchase the Saber Plus One part from the shop using 100 DNA souls. But the player needs 200 unspent souls for that to unlock. So, Skullhead, normally when he gives you 200 upon beating him, however, if RNG was not in your favor, he might just only give you 100. So, thankfully, we lucked out. We checked the shop, we had the 200, and we were able to buy that Saber Plus One now instead of later, which makes things awesome.
Very much so, and Saber Plus One, as the name implies, my, oh, no, that's not good. That's gonna be a little time lost, but I'll just try to make do with that anyway. It doesn't usually happen. I can't say that's never happened before, but, you know, it's not unlike me to say such a thing when I'm doing a run for a crowd of people, so hey, we just might see it happen anyway. Alright, but anyhowzers, we did go into Wire Sponge, and there's a good reason for that. But yeah, Saber Plus One, all of my Saber damage is now amped by plus 1 damage, and this is going to be pretty helpful, as Zero is going to be our general enemy boss killer through a good portion of this entire gameplay. And the reason for that is because jump slashes are very damaging to things. Now, the reason I'm going to Wire Sponge, well, he's got a very special technique specific to Zero. Well, okay, technically you can get it as X, but we want Zero. And, well, we'll get into why in the next Maverick stage, but I'm looking a little bit low on health. I'm feeling taking a safety death is probably the best way to handle this one. And that's actually why I picked up that life earlier in the stage. Fun fact, you're probably not going to see another extra life get dropped in the entire game. That's just the one thing that just usually is there, and I don't know why.
Weird.
Okay, but here we have Wire Sponge. Now, one thing, there is campaigns called X Mission and Zero Mission. And most specifically, if you are running Zero Mission, his strike chain, that's a good fight, by the way. What the jeez,
Yeah,
I never get that.
Fantastic.
There, I'm gonna crack open my Sprite right away because of that one. All right,
so
there you
good.
go. That was very good indeed. I could not ask for better luck there. So, yeah, okay, I gotta go get the next part, though, because, yeah, we got a big drop from bosses. They're usually 200 apiece, like Asuka said. And, well, thankfully, we got another big one. But even if we did get 100 from the possible RNG of the drop value, that still would have been enough to purchase the energy saver part, which I will now equip to 0. That's an example of what's called a common part, meaning that both X and 0 can equip it, which is really good. But 0, he's going to really want that, so we're just not going to worry about X for the longest while. The next stage we will, though, because there's a little something we could get for X to make him a little more mobile, just like 0, and you're probably noticing right off jump, ever since we started the run, oh, no, there we go. Oh, hey, nice little health drop right there. It's probably not going to do me too much, but might as well put it to use. I'm going to let this rock scale, and the thing could also bump up its hitbox a little bit if it moved and I acted a little too early. Okay, so now we get into the ride armor, and the reason for this is I'm going to open up this piece of ground right here. Oh, come on, please. Thank you. Okay, and ride armors, they're very nice because they buffer damage for me. So as long as I'm inside the armor, I will not take actual damage. But more importantly, they're immune to spikes. And also, they do break the breakable ground. They are specific to that. But this right here, those blocks require the lightning technique from 0, which we get from Wire Sponge in order to break. And we just got the arm piece. Yes, oddly enough, 0 has a full-on set of armor capsules, normally given to X, but it seems Dr. Light was very generous despite 0 canonically not being his creation, but rather a certain someone else. I'd say who, but it would probably royally spoil the surprise. That was supposed to be a typo, but I actually went with it and it still made sense. You don't see that every day. So, right, let's talk about this stage, or rather this portion of the stage. This is lava. Don't worry, it's not going to kill me in one shot, but it will damage me, and it's lagging the game immensely, so I got to be extra careful. Those drill tanks are also some of the worst enemies that this game has to offer, because if you destroy them, they will still have a couple of drill shots shooting at you, and yeah, that still can damage you if you're still too close by the time that it goes kaboom. But we're going into Tunnel Rhino now, and this is where I get to really show things off. But I am going to invoke Serious Time, because I am a little low on health, and I want to play this extra carefully, because this still could look really nice. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Whoa, dear, and did that work? It does! Let's heckin' go. Another swig of, some victory soda indeed. And just give me a moment as we now move on to our next weapon get screen. And that's fast text. Oh, that's a good occurrence right there. So, weapon get screens, you normally cannot scroll through the text super duper fast by manual input, but for some reason, this little occasional fast text here, we don't know how it happens, but it can, and it's good. It's very good. We sincerely hope that one day we will crack down on it for reals, but until then, there's a possibility it could be a buffered input. Now, the common theory is taking damage, but as you saw, I didn't quite do that, so, you know. Right now, then, we just entered Volt Catfish's stage. This is actually the first of the X mission Mavericks. The other two were specific to Zero mission. How you would know this is because while both campaigns feature Man Xtreme bosses, because yes, all the Mavericks are indeed resurrected fellas from previous Super Nintendo titles, yeah, the X2 bosses go to 0 and the X1 bosses go to X. It's kind of funny how that happens, but hey, it's a nice touch considering that any boss that generally isn't a Mega Man X1 Maverick is probably going to have a little bit of original stage design, especially the case for Volty here. Oh, come on, Zero, get up, thank you. Only problem is it does borrow from Toxic Seahorse. At the end of the day, this is still Toxic Seahorse. Sans a little section, though, that will be coming up very shortly. So, yeah. we're getting the leg parts for X. And this is the only armor capsule that we really need to get him because, well, you saw that Zero could air dash. Now X can as well. But he also gets his up dash from Mega Man X3's leg parts. And that's going to be essential for a portion that will once again involve X. So let's see here. I'm going to wait this out just a little bit and then take a bit of damage up dash and booyah! That's what I call the title skip right there. So that wave of water right there can push me back and I will lose control of being able to just fight it back. But at this point, we're now in wave rooms where they will be flashing with electricity. By the way, this game does have quite a bit of flashing stuff. I do want to say it's not to the extreme level that Extreme unfortunately has to offer, but that will be more so in the late game. I will say that much. So right now we're all pretty fine and dandy, but if you are a little concerned about flashing lights, feel free to look away. I will never not say that. But here we go. Now it comes down to Volta Catfish, and this guy, the reason I laugh is because this guy used to give me so much trouble, but now the joke's on him because we have our best boss killing technique. It's jump slashes and Zero Final. And I didn't mention why I got this energy saver previously. It's because that thing does cut our energy consumption, and normally Zero can only have enough energy to do one at a time. So imagine having access to two. That's especially good because right now that's what's going to deal the most damage to any boss, period. Okay, so now we got to go into a Nick Cage meme, and I got to do the thing, all right? Not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Oh, jeez.
So,
I love that.
yes, indeed. All right, so this is probably my favorite level of the game, though, and there's a good reason for that. Anybody that's played X3 will know that Blast Hornet is normally encountered in a military factory. This time around, it's on an air fleet, and this uses spy copters, those giant fly things that you might have seen in the intro cutscene of X3. Those officially have the name, by the way. Even X3 mentions it itself. It's just that those things never actually appear in the game as a fightable enemy. You just see it get junked by Zero and X. But here they actually serve a purpose, and that's one of the reasons why this stage is so cool. But just in general too, the way they transform Blast Hornet, oh man, it like this level just you can do so much with the game design if you wanted to. Like, if this game would ever get a remake, but please change it. Don't change 99% of this level. Do change the boss, however, because there is a mini boss coming up after we get the body armor here, and this is purely for the sake of safety, because now we'll be able to reduce Zero's damage by half. He can typically be a bit of a glass cannon sometimes, and I think the game feed might have did a little thing for a second. Don't worry. All right, here we go. So, yeah, this is what I like to call the blinker wall. Myself and fellow runner Rose Zorn, she and I call this blinker wall because this thing is pure RNG as to what lights will light up. The good news about extreme mode, though, is that there are two lights at a time. So instead of Zero Mission where it's one light at a time, you've got a better job of just handling this in general.
Nice.
All right, now we got to come into the... Now we gotta come into Blast Hornet, though. And this guy will try to sting us and shoot bees at us. A quick thing about Zero Final. It will make contact with an enemy and then do the full-on animation. I do not want to hit the wrong target, otherwise that's pretty bad. And I'll also just waste ammo, and it'll be a royal pain in this Hornet.
Also, I'll have you know that the chat's been following up with your Nick Cage bees meme.
I noticed, yes. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that so much. Yes, indeed. All right. Now we got to get into Overdrive Ostrich. Now, this guy's pretty cool. He has the honor of being the first Maverick to introduce the Ride Chaser. It's become a bit of a staple in some of the X games, but, you know, X3 didn't quite have it, and of course, X1 never did have it. But yeah, it's back here. It's a little different, though, in terms of its movement. It got side movement, it can jump, it can attack. My recommendation is to use the up button, or sorry, up direction. Technically, it's a button, I guess, if you're playing on an actual Game Boy Color. But yes, as I was saying, just basically try to press up to attack because you still retain some of your sense of momentum. But also, oh geez, okay, yes,
Nice.
that's exactly, oh, no, okay, no, that was bad, I'm waiting here. Yeah, I'll explain why I was doing those damage boosts in just... Actually, no, Asuka, do you want to explain this one for me?
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, the Sandstorm Tornado Generators. So those would have instantly killed Tempest on contact. So using the damage boosts can make it easy, but with the timing, it's a little awkward. So it makes sense the Tempest took the time. Make sure you got the timing right.
Pretty much. Okay, so this next life up, I'm just going to stand still. Yeah, they're just like that. Yeah, if you actually move, contrary to popular belief, you're probably going to have a little bit of a harder time with that platforming. It's weird, really, but it's a thing. So now we get to move into the ostrich fight himself, and this guy can also be a pain because he can choose to leave the screen and do a little jump, like a cartoon character, if you will. Oh, sorry. Oh, that was an accidental sub-tank usage, but hey, it gave some of my health back.
Nice.
This run's got a little bit of wacky stuff going on, all because of just my fast input, I guess you could say. Because menuing, that's one of the potential challenges you can... Can I hit you? Thank you. It's one of the potential challenges you can experience when running this game. There's no questioning that much.
There.
There we go.
I like that pause and then turn around.
So that's actually supposed to be his victory animation from Mega Man X6. Normally, he's also supposed to do a bit of a thumbs up, but this game in Mega Man X6 just has him turn around. They just changed it after X5. In all fairness, X6 did give him a lot of new animation frames as compared to just reusing all of them from X5. So that's one of the things people actually do credit about the game because, you know, X6 is considered one of those low points. Not necessarily because it's a bad game, it's just horribly designed. It had good intentions, though, and I can assure you all that much, but yeah, this is a bit of a dangerous section. Asuka, what's up with the fireballs in extreme mode?
I'm getting there. All right. So, the fireballs will jump out at Tempest in the particular section you're seeing right now.
Come on, get up.
They will basically insta-kill Tempest if they get hit, if it gets hit by one. So, lava, totally fine. Fireballs,
Oddly
totally
enough.
not fine.
Oddly enough. But the nice thing about this stage is that, like in X1, it supposedly can freeze over. It's just been probably ages since I've ever seen that happen, so maybe I need to get fact-checked on that one. And it's very likely, because, you know, this game does take a lot of elements from the previous X stuff, yes. But sadly, you cannot cut off Flame Mammoth's trunk. Keep that in mind, because, well, keep that in mind for later. Also, yeah, that stage theme, by the way, totally mixed up. It's a weird... Oh, hang on a second. I gotta be very careful.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, can I say that's never happened before now?
You could say
So,
that.
double kills, those have happened to me in practice. During an event run, not so much. Honestly, though, I'm not gonna lie to you right now. I hope that gets turned into a short.
Nice. I know our wonderful producer, Railcoon, I'm sure they were very happy they got to push a very specific button just now.
Thank you so much, Ray. Okay, moving on to Neon Tiger. Now, any Guns N' Roses fan in the chat? Folks, you're probably going to recognize this song to be sounding a little bit similar to My Michelle. And that's basically how it's going to be. So, I always appreciated this song for just having that to its little history, if you will. But yeah, no, what exactly happened before double kills can very much happen in this game. And the reason that it's especially prevalent in Flame Mammoth is that the fire can still very much hurt you in terms of just touching the floor. So be very careful about that. Like, I could have seen myself switching to X just out of safety, but I figured Zero, he could have done it, you know? And if anything, I don't really have to worry about switching to X. We never talked about some of the weirdest quirks within this game. See, character swapping, you would probably normally associate that sort of mechanic with Mega Man X7. Turns out it actually originated here. And, well... Unfortunately, the one that kills the boss is the only one that gets the weapon. So hey, Mega Man X7 actually did something right in giving the weapon to all of the player characters. It just so happens that you only get the preview animation of who done did it. Now in this case, I actually do want to kill Neon Tiger with X. And it's because I will get the Ray Claw for this. But, why would I need the Ray Claw, per se? It's not quite a weakness right now, is it? Well, my friends, you ain't seen nothing yet. But for now... Oh, shoot! Unfortunately, I actually have to soft reset because of that. So, yeah, I just said that I have to take him out as X, right? I took him out as 0. The good news, though... It's not the first time that's happened, though. That much I can say for sure.
Fair.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to explain what I just did there. This game, like with Mega Man Xtreme 1, both of the cartridges have backups. So they have a battery inside the cart, which allows you to save the game. But this also acts as an autosave system, and those checkpoint platforms in Mega Man Xtreme 2, the flat ones, which I believe my pal Focus once called Metal Oreos, and something that has stuck with me. Yeah, those will do the autosaving, so as long as I can use the autosave to my advantage, then I'm pretty much hunky-dory as can be, but I'm going to try not to get too carried away again. Okay, so we've switched into X now. We just got to defeat him as X. He's doing the lunges. Oh, he just showed a move that you don't usually get to see. So that's a common thing in extreme mode, but sometimes he can do that in X mission. So it's not out of the odds. But yeah, we're losing a little bit of time from the earlier pace, but you know, we're still looking okay as can be, and I'm not too concerned. That said, I was trying to explain the whole music thing about Flame Mammoth, and it's about to come back here on Launch Octopus. So, Extreme 2's stage themes for Launch Octopus and Flame Mammoth, they got flip-flopped in the Japanese version. Why that is? Well, yeah, Capcom probably just made a mistake because they did notice it and they did fix it in the worldwide version. Why am I playing on the Japanese version, though? Well, simple enough. It's faster text scrolling, and yes, this is a pattern a lot of people are probably aware of at this point, but yeah, no, it's only because you can't skip. That was actually a nice little momentum boost. I'll explain what happened there in just a moment. There's a lot of things happening. This game can go a mile a minute. But yes, you can't skip cutscenes. That's what I was trying to say. Why was that hard? English is hard sometimes.
Truth.
But those blowfish enemies, normally they capture X and then they inevitably explode, and that's how they damage you. But yeah, no, we're just not going to pay them much mind. Here's the Utuboros. You might remember this guy from Mega Man X1 as the mini-boss of that guarded the boss door here. And there's another one as well that I had to destroy the battleship in order to enter that one's chamber. This thing, though, is potentially a bit of a dice roll when it comes to trying to dispatch it quickly. Unlike X1, you can't really manipulate where it spawns all that consistently. So yeah, that's why that was sadly not that good of a fight, because I did try to get it a little bit in a better spot, but you know, not much I could have done. Anyway, I could have positioned myself closer to the right side of the arena. Instead, I was just trying to pick up whatever stuff I can, because I'm still technically collecting DNA souls, and well, we'll go shopping soon. But for now, who wants to serve up some calamari?
with a very, very, very quick strat, too.
So what you're seeing me do is I'm doing a few jump slashes, and then I'm going to finish him off with Zero Final. And yeah, as I alluded to, with the whole Flame Mammoth not being able to lose his trunk, luckily Launch Octopus can still lose his tentacles. And this is done instead of using the Boomerang Cutter from Boomer Kawanger, who's completely absent in this game. They instead gave that role to the Rayclaw, which is actually kind of convenient. So with Launch Octopus and that stun animation, we just do away at him and try to get him defeated before he gets out of it, really. All right, so late game stages. What do you think of late game stages, Asuka?
Oh, I'm just waiting to see the oh heck moment kick in with those.
I suppose so, indeed. I have this tendency, by the way, to almost sound like I'm speaking half proper and yet speaking half casual. I don't know why that is. All right. Let's go into this room right here. I'm going to take this path because nothing wrong with going up the waterfall. It's just a little less obstacle blocked.
Makes sense.
So normally Launch Octopus would be giving us some homing torpedoes of some kind, but even if I beat him as X, he actually would have given us what's called the Marine Tornado. Some of the weapons in this game actually do differ from their SNES counterparts, and it is very much intentional, and a very nice way of doing it too, I might add. So, hello Velgarder. You are either a doggo or a wolfo. I usually just go by wolfo because that's kind of what you are. And let's see if you behave today. Good boy. There you go.
Nice.
So this guy, you also fight him in Mega Man X1. And he can be just as bad in that game, but it's more so having, say, the body armor for Zero is what makes it a bit manageable. If I was fighting him in a Zero mission setting, though, I'd be a little bit more worried. All right, folks. Here comes my favorite trick of the game. Platform skip. There we go. First try.
Very nice.
So what I just did right there, remember how I mentioned that there are two types of dashing, both the command double tap dash as well as the down plus A dash? What that's all about is, well, because you're only dashing for as long as you're holding A or pressing down, we used that specifically on the ground because that electricity would otherwise instant kill me. So by using the damage boosts, my objective is just to go as fast as I possibly can before it wears off. And X, thank you. Okay, I just was wondering why he was clinging to the wall. But yeah, it is possible, by the way, to clip through those little floating platforms. It's one of the only times that can actually mean something and not really, like, heck your run. Because as far as myself and the runners go, we've never really discovered super huge glitches aside from the aforementioned credits warp, which this category name prevents me from doing. So Focus was practicing for GDQ and happened to find that in the Japanese version, in the boss rush room, you can go to any boss chamber and then press the exit button from the pause menu. And it turns out that because the game expects the next official portion of the data to be the actual credits, it just sends you right to the credits. So ever since then, we have prevented that from being legal in the 100% extreme category, but we do have a little separation between any percent extreme and, well, what I'm doing now. I'm probably going to die from this one because I didn't think that it was going to be a good attempt at this fight, but that's Isaz and Suilo. If you've played this game casually, you would have probably called this thing the Sphinx Tank, and probably out of not so happy feelings that I shall not echo on this stream. And the reason for that is this boss takes up a lot of screen space. So generally, if you did not have the right tools to take care of this thing, you are going to lose a lot of lives. And that's actually a bit of a danger zone right here. So I'm just going to play this safe. X, if you could please help me out here. Right? Sadly, the health does not go all that down faster. Okay, come on, Zero. All right, that was a little
Nice.
bit too safe, but I'll take that anyway.
Hey, it works.
Cool. All right, we're out of there.
Sweet.
All right, so at this point, let's get back to the shopping. I'm gonna buy Buster +1, Buster +2, the Speed Shot, Ultimate Buster, and Saber +2. And with that, we have the full repertoire. Why? Well, we're gonna power up Zero with that, and we're gonna use that a little later on, but most importantly, we're gonna need X to just really, really get stuff going. So let's put the part on, swap out. Fun fact, if a character is closer to the ceiling, the swap out animation goes much faster. So that's why you saw me do that in the case of Volt Catfish before we got to the boss door. It's pretty neat. But yeah, so at this rate, my X-Buster is now doing maximum damage. It's faster. And all of my shots are charged shots. Now, why have I not been using the normal charge shot, you may be wondering. As it would happen, whether this be intentional or by some design flaw of one of this game's programmers, Buster shots and charge shots practically do not do different damage within one another on a boss. They supposedly do on enemies, but as far as boss damage goes, it's generally the same, so we don't really bother with charge shots. But we still need to use it, especially in extreme mode, and it's because the true final boss's final phase requires itself to be hit by charge shots. Now, if it's Zero's Saber, it already counts as charge shots. It's one of the reasons why you did not see me fight Skullhead as him, because, well, a charge shot getting hit by him, or rather Skullhead getting hit by a charge shot causes the screen to egregiously flash. So, you're welcome, by the way, because that's never fun. But I think you'll see what my real concern about that true final boss is once we get to him. For now, we gotta take care of Burkana, which, by the way, was that little witch-looking Reploid. So she's actually a bit of an interesting person. She likes to use the alphabet against us, hence why we hate it. She will throw A spheres at me or B spheres at me. If I touch one of those, that corresponding button will be temporarily locked, and she will either turn the walls or floor into spikes. Now, once either of those start changing back, I will no longer be instant killed by those, but I still gotta be careful. Of course, with my busted Buster, I think we're gonna be laying the hurt on her.
Yeah.
Like so. I do want to give a shout out though to Burkana, because honestly, this is one of those rare instances of a Mega Man game having a female villain of any kind. Sure, a lot of people usually think back to Ferrum from Mega Man X Command Mission, which, by the way, is a game that I actually do really want to do a speedrun for one of these days, because it's one of those chapters of the Mega Man franchise that is just often forgotten about. And in my opinion, it was a really cool RPG for its time. Maybe it's not aged the most gracefully, but it's still a fantastic and unique experience among the X franchise, if you ask me. But in terms of Ferrum, she was more painted to be a sympathetic villain in the game. And yet, Burkana, she does not have any sympathy whatsoever. And by the way, that's okay. I was going to take a safety game over. I just forgot to do it in that earlier pick, because I do not want 0 lives at this point. Thank you very much.
Fair. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Well, you know what time it is, folks. Turns out that Sigma was behind the plot all along. See, Burkana was presenting herself as the mastermind because, as a previous Reploid R&D scientist within Lagoose Island, the set piece of this entire game, see, she was studying Reploid DNA, and it turns out she realized that you could use that DNA to power yourself up. And she basically wanted to rule the world by using DNA to basically soup herself up, and basically she considers the ultimate beauty to be the ultimate strength. Which is kind of cool when you think about it.
Huh?
But yeah, we put a stop to her. We put a stop to Gareth, which was her created servant and her knight in shining armor. And at this point, I forgot to mention, actually, that we did see that whole, that split path thing again. So, in the start of Bracana Stage 3, you actually do want to be X, because if you go into 0, you go into Gareth's stage. Now, in any percent or the no credits warp category, this is fine and all. It's just that Gareth's fight is a lot more RNG heavy and is a lot less consistent than what Bracana's can be, so we do not want to bother with that. It's just a simple fact of the matter, and, nothing against him, because I actually do like Gareth. He's a lot more competent of a fight, but maybe too competent. That's the problem here.
That's fair.
I think I can take him out. There we go. That was a little close, though. Volt Catfish is pretty notoriously aggressive, especially when you're not hitting him with, like, a strong weapon or a weakness. So the fact that I had a little bit of trouble, it's not a standalone experience. It can and will happen to anyone. I'm gonna give X a little screen time, though, really quickly. I'm just swapping between them haphazardly, quite frankly. I mean, hey, we got time. We got plenty of time. We're just here to close off the night. And, well, this has been a absolutely wonderful Mega Man takeover, if I do say so. I just want to say right away that I have nobody else but Asuka to thank for just having me along for this ride. Was I one of the first people you spoke to about this whole thing?
Yeah, before I even suggested it to Midnight Vesper, it's like, hey, because I had wanted to do a Mega Man themed show for a while, and then you actually reached out to me for something unrelated around the same time. I was like, oh, by the way, I'm thinking of doing this. And then I reached out to Vesper and said, hey, I have this episode coming up. You want to go double up on this? So
It's amazing.
It all kind of snowballed. It was fantastic.
It all comes to... Wait, hang on a second. Oh, yeah. It's all coming together. Worst Kronk impression, but shout out to Patrick Warburton anyway.
Nice.
We're almost done with this boss rush, though. Just Overdrive Ostrich, I believe, and that's about it. So, yeah, at this point, if I really did want to finish the run using the credits warp, then, yeah, I would have just jumped straight into any capsule, went into that start menu, pressed exit, and that would have been time. But no, we're still going on, folks. This is, it ain't over until it's over. And we got an old friend to say hello to. And I picked up that health for pure safety. And, that was a bit of a mistake. Whoop. Okay, all right, cool.
I should say we put up the flashing warning. It's more so the second boss that has the major flashing.
That's correct. So folks, coming right up is going to be Sigma. We got Neo Sigma from X2, but once we get into Sigma Beast, that's where things are really going to just amp up. So look away. This is your last warning, because at this point, it's time to boogie. All right, folks, this is probably my favorite song within the game. This is obviously a remix of the Virus Sigma fight theme from Mega Man X2, but the cool part is that it just sounds so epic. They really make this feel like a high-stakes fight between X-Zero and the Big Bad, and it just feels wonderful. But this is also an original form of Sigma to this very game, whereas Xtreme 1 did a lot of adaptation from the source material stuff. Like, even Sigma's forms are purely from Mega Man X1, which you did see Apt America run earlier, so if I were running Xtreme 1, it would have been that again. It looks like he changed colors, except the sprite didn't actually visually change. One more hit, though, and that will be time, so let's get ready. Time!
Nice.
And that's a PB! Let's heckin' go! Oh, that feels so good!
It's like waiting for it to officially come up on the stream.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
That felt great. That felt great.
I'm surprised. 47.
I just doomed. And that, like, sure, usually the late game gives me the most trouble. That's that certainly wasn't as much trouble as it could have been, though. Let me tell you. I was really hoping for a PB tonight, and the fact that I pulled it off in a much more surprising amount than what I ended up like, just wow, just wow.
Yeah,
this is
smoked your estimate. That was awesome.
When I put up estimates, I always do it out of safety. Chances are you account for the worst possible scenario. And yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes, but not this time. We had a great run. What the geez.
I'm so happy. Well, yeah,
Thank
Tempest,
you.
where can they see you stream? What have you been streaming? And yeah, any other additional shout outs?
Right. Let's start with just my overall shoutouts. So the Mega Man X speedrunning community, obviously if you'd like to learn this game, if you'd like to learn any Mega Man X speedrun, please join us. The Mega Man RTA leaderboards does have all sorts of community Discord links that you can go to for ease of access. There's a special page, which all you need to do is just open it up. It'll show you the way there. And yeah, no, this game does not have a lot of active runners. Generally speaking, I know Focus is still very much interested in running this game. I know we got Rose Zorn, who hasn't touched this actively in a while, but she has managed to find quite a few interesting, funny things that can happen with this game, and I'm always interested to see what she comes up with next. And I know we have Curitiba, who is the current world record holder for the 100% extreme category, which was probably the most popular of the leaderboards in general with this game. Just overall a shout out to anyone that has ran this game before me, because again, it means so much to me as my first ever speed game. And I hope one of these days it gets a modern port outside of its 3DS Virtual Console release. That said, I'd also like to give a shout out to just all the communities that I've gotten to know over my 3 years of being a speedrunner, purely for hobby and just being able to turn my love for video gaming into something good. And of course, thank you GDQ for having me. This has been a lifelong dream of mine, just being able to run on this channel. And I will never forget this moment for as long as I live. And I certainly hope it will not be the last. A big shout out to my friends of the Volunteer Fam. As some of you may know, I actually did donation reading in SGDQ 2021. And y'all, everyone that I've met along this fantastic journey, you are my lifeblood. I owe so much to you all, and I thank you all for putting up with me for this long. I may not be the perfect being, but you have my heart, my appreciation, my soul, my fire. Thank you so much, everyone. If you'd like to follow me, my Twitch is TempestMask1000. I also have a YouTube channel of the same name. Twitter, @TempestSteve. And I also got a Tempest Mask Blue Sky profile, so feel free to follow me on any of those. I am hoping to dabble with crowd control, so if anybody would be certainly wanting to mess with my gameplay at some point whenever, that would be great. But aside from that, I don't have a static stream schedule. I just do this for fun, and I certainly hope that any speedrunners watching this right now will just do so at your own pace. This could be you someday. And I hope I'll be able to see that one day. Asuka, thank you again for having me, and until next time, folks. Ciao, Michi.
Again, give fantastic GGs to Tempest and additional GGs on that PB, 38 minutes and 47 seconds. That was absolutely fantastic to see, and just all of the Mega Man runs from Bargain Bin earlier and Express Lane today. Everything was amazing. Everything was super cool. Please check out the VODs when they're up on YouTube and then also on Twitch as well. We are done for the night. Before we send you off to some wonderful other people, I do want to remind you that tomorrow, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, you will be seeing Game Masters with some Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, so you get all 3 of them there. And after that, you will see Lunistis on how to train a speedrunner. So with that, I'm Oscar424, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye! Y'all are cute.